day. Let's get these gates open.
Asgarath, Alec, and Jamie entering the arena on the right side of your screen for ABC. Gorecki, Chun-Li, and Thugonomics off the bench entering on the left side. The boys here, North America versus Europe, to start the day off with game number 1.
Ooh, Thugonomics making his debut in this tournament on the Destruction Warlock. Very well versed in the specialization. Chun-Li now taking a little bit of pressure. Looks like Chun-Li is going to be sitting on Alec, trying to reduce some of his damage. And we've seen Chun-Li do a good job with his disable route, with his Ring of Peace, with his stuns, keep targets in line of sight of Thugonomics so he can get off that Chaos Bolt damage, that Destro Warlock burst. And I think if the boys can consistently do that, they will be able to find a kill in this match.
All right, let's see what Thugonomics can get done here. ABC were anticipating a Windwalker Death Knight, and the boys anticipated that anticipation and then substituted in Thugonomics on Destruction Warlock. So the boys not 100% countering their competition, but at least they didn't walk into the trap that would have been a melee cleave matchup into this wizard cleave setup, which we've seen so favored towards the wizards and the spellcasters in general. So I do like that the boys are utilizing that 4-player roster, bringing in their fourth to try and get some diversity. We see Chun-Li currently activating powerful cooldowns as we see both of those abilities glowing below his health bar. Looks like Alec's going to be the target. Touch of Death explodes, big hit. Asgarath had Iron Bark rolling to reduce the damage, actually re-stealthing out of a Cyclone and stunning Chun-Li. Nice awareness by Asgarath, slowing down the pressure and allowing Alec to easily survive.
Yep, so ABC's main objective in this game is to limit what Thugonomics can do. They want to limit his spellcasting, so Jamie with his Earth Shear, or with his Wind Shear, his Grounding Totem, Alec with all of his snares and his counterspell. They want to be interrupting Thugonomics, just keeping him in place and trying to line of sight as much damage as possible. As it is unlikely Thugonomics goes down early on, but later on in the game he becomes a big vulnerability for the boys, so the ABC really want to drag this game on as long as possible.
Good crowd control chain on Gorecki as he sits through a full Hex and into a Polymorph. Thugonomics stunned up, big burst coming through here for ABC. Unending Resolve needs to be enough for Thugonomics, and it looks like it's going to be. Thugonomics calling in that Infernal. It's going to be big damage for him if he is able to get some Chaos Bolts off here. ABC need to avoid it. They don't even seem to care. They're just pushing him over. Thugonomics going to fall this early on. Gorecki stunned up. Thugonomics getting lower and lower. Alex secures further crowd control. Chun-Li supporting with some Expel Harm heals, but even that, not going to be strong enough. Gorecki, Gladiator's Medallion Iron Bark. Big cooldowns from Gorecki to survive this assault, and ABC continue pushing.
Yeah, ABC's been doing a really good job. Alec, with his kiting, with his polymorphs, with his positioning, has really been limiting the offense of the boys in this matchup. I'm not sure if the boys were totally prepared for that. Chun-Li tried to get some pressure rolling onto Jamie, but now back on Alec. Thugonomics still the target of choice for ABC as he's caught into the midfield. Can they get crowd control on Gorecki is the question. He's got no Gladiator's Medallion, no Iron Bark, which leaves the boys semi-vulnerable.
All right, let's see if they can make it to that point. 10 more seconds on that vital Iron Bark of Gorecki. 8 more seconds. If ABC can engage crowd control prior to this moment, Thugonomics will be in danger. Thugonomics is doing a good job fearing Jamie. Chun-Li has Alec under control. Chaos Bolt interrupted, good denial. Very important when facing a Destruction Warlock that you stop as many Chaos Bolts as possible. Thugonomics looking for some crowd control to set up a Chaos Bolt. It's going to be trying to burst down Jamie. No Grounding Totem, but only one connects. Chun-Li not able to follow up. The control of ABC has been solid. Their damage and pressure equally so. Asgarath gets swapped to. Bit of a surprise attack from the boys as they're mixing things up.
Yeah, Chun-Li putting some pressure on Asgarath, managing to get out that bar skin. If they can swap to him again, it could be the Gladiator's Medallion from Asgarath, or he can ultimately fall. So look out for that next leg sweep, that next bash coming in from the boys. Double leg sweep coming in from Chun-Li. Decent pressure onto Alec. Heat Shrink gets out to avoid some damage, putting Chun-Li into a polymorph, limiting some of that pressure. And like I said, for ABC, it's about stalling it out to the late game, just bullying Thugonomics as much as you can on the Elemental Shaman, on the Frost Mage. Just make sure he's snared up, he's interrupted, and he can't get too much done. And for ABC's, it's been working out pretty well so far.
All right, ABC, you're looking solid, but I think mana is in favor of the boys, so the boys hold out. They might be able to stall this match and win on mana against Asgarath. Mana being the blue bar below the health bars, and the health bars being the big bars on each player's frame on your screen. Gorecki moving forward, looking like he wants to get some crowd control. Bashing Asgarath. Alec the target, already in a good position to avoid damage though from Thugonomics. Asgarath actually gets swapped to by Chun-Li. Chun-Li is constantly just feeling it out, trying to see if he can get a surprise attack on Asgarath. Manages to at least pull Iron Bark. Now he can switch targets. Nice play by Chun-Li. Banking a cooldown, now potentially getting an Ice Block as a result if they can get more damage out. but Alec is avoiding Thugonomics effectively. Jamie supporting with Lightning Lasso, denying the reconnect. Asgarath repositions, but he's expended a lot of mana to heal through the swaps of Chun-Li, and it is really Chun-Li's target switching that is putting his team ahead.
Yeah, switching targets, keeping up that mortal wounds effect from the Rising Sun kick. Makes it very difficult for the Restoration Druid to deal with that damage. Asgarath with a nice Bash Cyclone on Chun-Li, getting some control of the matchup. But like you kind of mentioned, Sid, right now, in terms of mana, the boys have a massive lead. It's going to be up to them to make sure they prevent Asgarath from getting out of combat, sitting down for those drinks. You can see Asgarath positioned so far away. Gorecki realizing this, he's going to try to chase him down. It really is a game of cat and mouse or cat and cat for these two Druids to try to limit their opportunities to recover mana.
Mistimed by Asgarath. Gorecki rotates the crowd control back in his own favor. Mistakes are starting to be made here by ABC. Alec is already down an ice block at a point in this match, now with only one remaining. Significant mana lead for the boys, and it's looking better and better for them. Substituting in Thugonomics was a great idea and tactic for them in this series, and winning the blind pick the first round means that you will have the advantage should this swing to a Game 5. This match is of the utmost importance for both sides, and the boys continue to build their lead.
Yeah, leg sweep on Asgarath. No trinket, no bark skin now. This is a great opportunity for the boys. They could potentially make an all-in out of this if Gorecki gets his bash up. If Thugonomics and Chun-Li can land some sort of damage on the Asgarath, they might be able to take him down. Very vulnerable. It's going to be up to Alec and Jamie to make sure they can keep him alive. Good pressure on Chun-Li. Lightning Lasso coming in. Thugonomics needs to shut that down. Chun-Li could just fall. Gets the touch of Karma off a good fortifying brew before that Lightning Lasso. That may be the only thing that kept Chun-Li alive.
Another swap, switching over to Jamie, trying to spend more mana from Asgarath, but Jamie is able to escape, although not away from the Chaos Bolts of Thugonomics. Crowd control on Asgarath. Chun-Li switching targets again over to Alec. Thugonomics sets up with a double Mortal Coil into a Fear. Good crowd control. Great play by Thugonomics in this position, getting a ton of pressure out. Can they get more follow-up is the question. Doesn't look like they have it. Asgarath's out, but he doesn't have cooldowns. This could be the second ice block. Alec interrupted on Polymorph. Lightning Lasso to buy time. That gets interrupted. Alec's in trouble. He's starting to flail here. Asgarath in position with Tranquility going. Needs to be enough. Looks like it is for now, but double leg sweep. Mistakes made by ABC. That triangle positioning is starting to be blundered away. Alec in that vortex not able to escape. He's going to get pulled back to Chun-Li. Chun-Li just staying on target and slowly and surely tapping that mana bar. Dampening ramping up to critical mass.
Yeah, the boys building momentum in this matchup. Thugonomics gets interrupted. Do they have the damage to really punish him? They've been going after Chun-Li, but I feel like ABC, they need to start putting their attention onto Thugonomics once again. There's a Lightning Lasso. Thugonomics trinkets out, lands a full fear onto Asgarath. Alec could be in a little bit of trouble right now. He's not running the Temporal Shield. There's the Mortal Coil. Chaos Bolt lands. Alec getting out of line of sight with the Iron Bark does manage to hold on to that second ice block, and that's going to be very important. They're at around 18% dampening right now. Gorecki's mana, just a massive lead over Asgarath. ABC, this is looking dangerous for them.
It's looking solid for the boys, though, and North America in the lower bracket. There's only 2 North American teams left in the tournament and 4 Europeans. So if you're a Sea-Doo fan or a Method Orange fan, you need to be rooting for the North American teams, because that could open up potentially more slots for North American teams later on in the year. It is very important to these teams' regions that their region finds victory on the lands if they are unable to, so they have a better shot of qualifying to the World Finals. There's a lot on the line, not only for the teams in this match, but every team competing for each region.
Yeah. Thugonomics with a little bit of a misplay there. Actually missed his Infernal stun, so didn't get too much value there. Infernals are out. Big Chaos Bolts by Thugonomics. Manages to find one on Asgarath. If he found that second, that would have been dangerous. Very nice interrupt there by Alec. Chun-Li getting rooting up behind the pillar. What is he going to do? All 3 members of ABC trying to reposition on the other side of the map. They realize Asgarath at some point he has to be able to recover his mana, but the boys have just been shutting that down so consistently. You can see the Fell Hunter from Thugonomics just chasing him down. Alec and Jamie, they need to start trying to find some damage on Thugonomics. They need counter pressure in this matchup.
All right, Dampening's getting high, but Alec gets bursted. He's got 1 minute to that cold snap. Can he make it? He's holding out with Kona cold snares, but they connect. He's interrupted on Frost for 1 more second. Gorecki's dishing out some extra damage. Asgarath's caught in the Fear. Where's the Tremor Totem? No Tremor Totem from Jamie. That Fear is sitting full duration into a paralysis. Will this cost them an ice block? Asgarath pinned against the wall with that Ring of Peace, trying to make it back to his team. Alec has slowly but surely recovered. Now Asgarath initiating crowd control on Gorecki, actually for a swap. Big swap from ABC, trying to pull victory out of nowhere here. They're so far behind if they don't find a kill. Gorecki Shadow melds the Gladiator's Maledict, avoids the healing absorption. They go all in on Gorecki, but he's escaped already. They're not going to find the kill unless Jamie solos him. He's given up the chase. Gorecki survives the swap, and now ABC, what are you doing? You got no mana left. You've only got 1 ice block, and Alec's already low.
This is not the positioning Alec wants in this matchup. He has Thugonomics basically just teeing off on him. He's caught in midfield, gets caught into the bash, into a fear. Chun-Li chasing down Asgroth, really wants to limit those drinks. If they can just shut down those drinks, they will win this match. Asgroth literally has no mana left. Thugonomics gets interrupted. Big burst damage from ABC. Can they find the counter kill? Thugonomics still has a lot of defensive cooldowns to work with. It would be a throwaway at this point for the boys. They have a commanding lead in this matchup. Alec caught into the fear. Thugonomics really bullying the really bullying ABC at this point in the match. Chun-Li just training down Asgroth. Lands a nice double stun onto Jamie and Asgroth. Chun-Li's been doing an excellent job in this matchup, making sure he's consistently landing those double stuns off positional errors from ABC.
All of this damage is going to just continue getting higher and higher. Thugonomics' Warlock is paying off here in game number 1, and this is the games that we like to see from the Warlocks. Damage across the board, all 3 members in trouble, no mana left, and Asgroth is somehow keeping his team going for what will be a miracle kill if ABC can pull it off. Thugonomics gets bursted. No response from the boys just yet in terms of cooldowns. They feel confident. They're pushing forward. Ice block forced from Alec. Fortunately for him, Cold Snap available. We'll have another one. Jamie is still low, though. Thugonomics is boldly in midfield. Can Jamie pull off the miracle? He's bursting him. Alec blinks forward as well. It's do or die to kill Thugonomics. Frozen Orb is down. Thugonomics can use the gateway to safety if he needs to. It doesn't look like he has to. Ironbark's defense activated by Gorecki. Still with a slight mana lead. Dampening getting higher. Thugonomics recovering. But the damage has been dealt with somehow, some way. Asgroth has topped his team off at this point. Innervate timed. He's getting full heal over time effects loaded up onto the team with that. Thugonomics is getting bursted, and ABC, they might be able to pull off the miracle.
Yeah, off the back of that Innervate from Asgroth, making all of his cast spells free. Jamie now caught into a leg sweep. Thugonomics gets interrupted, though. There's not going to be too much backup. There is an Infernal with Chun-Li trying to take him down. Full bash. Nice crowd control by Gorecki. As he moves in, the boys looking to close out this game. Can they find the damage on Jamie? Alec with a beautiful polymorph into a Frost Nova on Chun-Li, really trying to slow down some of that damage, but Jamie needs to get out of midfield at this point, where ABC, they have to try to find a kill on Thugonomics. Thugonomics knows this could be dangerous for him, activating his Unending Resolve, using that to get offensive onto Jamie. Lightning Lasso gets interrupted. The boys trying to close out this game.
Ooh, Hibernate on Gorecki. That could be the miracle Hibernate. Asgroth putting the team on his back now. Big crowd control chain off the back.
No way!
Despite having no mana, despite his team being so far behind, Asgroth finds the miracle Hibernate and puts a point on the board, taking that blind pick advantage.
That in mind, but still 67% of you think that the boys are going to be able to take it, even after a crushing blow last night that gets them into this elimination matchup. Even after that first loss, we're going to have to see if ABC can turn the boys into RIP. Crediting Zico on that one. He's on break, so I'm going to steal his joke.
Typical. Anyway.
Wait, you did the joke wrong.
Yeah, I think he actually...
You should have let Zico tell us.
You should have said the boys turn ABC into RIP.
Whoa.
Anyways.
Good damage on Alec right away. He trinkets out, blinks behind the pillar, but another Chaos Bolt lands. Alec gets another Shimmer off, trying to get out of line of sight. And once again, ABC, it's all about avoiding damage as long as possible. Eventually, Thugonomics becomes a really great target if he gets interrupted on a Chaos Bolt, if he gets interrupted on the Fear. He's kind of a sitting duck in all of these Frost Mage snares, especially later on. So that is the objective of ABC for the boys. It's all about just consistent pressure, swapping around, looking for opportunities for Thugonomics to land Chaos Bolts. They could eventually get Asgroth out of mana. They were at their win condition in game number 1, where ABC kind of found a miracle kill off the back of a really beautiful play of Alec and Asgroth. Have to see how this one plays out.
Pressure on both sides, as Alec and Thugonomics are the main targets for each opposing team. Gorecki caught in crowd control, which means his 2 members of his team are in a bit of trouble. Now with Cyclone from Asgroth to follow up as well. Chun-Li is chilling at the pillar. The monk that never dies, as we credited yesterday. He's got a lot of practice with the one and only Vinruki on the desk in his 2 versus 2 combat to make sure that he trained on 100 times gravity to survive here in the tournament today. Thugonomics moving forward, but gets clotheslined by Jamie. Asgroth positioned in the far back room, and he's baiting drinks so that the opposing team runs out into midfield to stop him. And then when they're in midfield, Alec and Jamie can blow them up. I like this positioning from ABC.
Yeah, great positioning from ABC, that triangle formation, and like we kind of talked about in game number 1, there were a few mistakes from ABC. If Chun-Li can land a double leg sweep like this, Asgroth, what are you doing? These double leg sweeps just allow a huge amount of pressure and momentum from the boys. Anytime that happens, it is off the back of a mistake from ABC, so they have to make sure they're not stacking on top of each other, especially when Chun-Li has that leg sweep available.
All right, Gorecki comes out of a Hex, connects Ironbark, needs to be enough. Thugonomics is getting blasted by Jamie right now. You can tell that Jamie wants this, carrying it down in the lower bracket. These teams are facing elimination in the first best of 5 of the day between North America and Europe in the Spring 2019 Arena World Championship Finals. Who's going to come out ahead? There's a spot to BlizzCon on the line. There's $50,000 first place prize on the line. ABC pull off the miracle kill in game number 1. Can they pull off the miracle 2 more times and clean sweep the boys, or are the boys going to pull it back together? Alex getting bursted. Asgrath is interrupted and unable to heal, so Alec is going to avoid damage. And this is what we credit Alec for. He is so immaculate with his kiting and positioning defensively. That is how he won BlizzCon back in 2017. And we can see, even though Chun-Li playing a Windwalker, one of the most mobile melee in the game, Alec is kiting him effectively and pulling him into positions where he overextends and line of sights Gorecki, so when he's polymorphed, he can't be dispelled. And this is the top-level play that we expect from a team like ABC, former BlizzCon champions.
Yeah, there's a difference between some of the European mages and some of the North American mages. It seems like some of the European mages like Alec, like Raikou, they're not afraid to just play really defensive, just really focus on getting out well-timed Ice Novas and Frost Novas and Pet Novas and just kiting, playing to their advantage in the late game, whereas some of the North American mages, they play a little bit more aggressive in more situations. So maybe that is throwing the boys for a little bit of a loop. We saw yesterday with the Windwalker Fury Warrior, they weren't able to really take down Raikou, and I know the boys, they said they had a lot more pressure against some of the North American mages, so the playstyle difference between the two regions kind of makes these matchups interesting.
All right, let's see what they can get done. Alec in a good position far away, and that is the main focus of the team. But Asgrath and Jamie stack up again. Double leg sweep could cost them game 2. Whoa. Perfect stun lock by the boys, but Asgrath has Barkskin. And, it actually needs to be enough. Chun-Li is just owning him right now. Asgrath gets cycloned at low health. Do they have the stun diminishing return? Does Gorecki have a bash? I'm curious to see. It doesn't look like he does. Asgrath will recover. A bit of a close call. Deeper and Dampening definitely can't afford to make mistakes like that. Now Alec the target. Infernals have landed. Thugonomics is setting up for some big bolts.
Yeah, looking for those Chaos Bolts, but ABC knows exactly what is going on. You can see they're just turtling up behind the pillar, just avoiding as much damage as possible. Alec gets interrupted on the polymorph, looking for a Ring of Frost. Unfortunately, denied there. Gorecki's positioned quite far away. Thugonomics right now with Gorecki is going to be protecting him from some crowd control, but right now ABC is relatively split up, and Chun-Li is developing quite a bit of pressure onto Alec.
Yeah, 2 targets, a 2-pronged assault by the boys, with Thugonomics going after Jamie and Chun-Li going after Alec. They had to expend the Astral Shift for Jamie to recover, and Asgrath was able to stabilize Alec, so ABC not cracking under the pressure and the strategy adaptation from the boys mid-game. Chun-Li now overextended. This is the positioning I was talking from ABC. Gorecki then walks into crowd control. Asgrath capitalizing on that. Good play here from ABC. That is going to bank them the Fortifying Elixir and Iron Bark from the boys. If they can keep kiting cross midfield, they can definitely find a kill through this strategy. See if they can keep it up.
Yeah, Chun-Li activates Touch of Death. Can they get the second Ice Block from Alec? Fist of Fury coming flying in, but Alec is taking no damage. Iron Bark negating all of that pressure. Ooh. Now it's Chun-Li that's in trouble. He might have to trade out that Touch of Karma. Doesn't want to wait to get too low. Interrupt on Alec. Chun-Li rolls away to the safety of Gorecki behind the pillar. Here's a nice little regrowth. And Chun-Li does get topped off. But we look at mana, this is a different story. Asgaroth has been playing much more efficiently in this matchup. I think ABC, they realized the game plan of the boys. They've been adapting to this composition. Now they're actually swinging the mana edge in their favor. Oh. But as I say that, Gorecki positioned across the entire map, recovering basically full mana. Now the boys get a slight lead.
And Gorecki gets full mana at a critical moment where Dampening has just entered the battle. So this was a nice reaction from Gorecki. Certainly keeping it calm, cool, and collected despite some tilting matches so far in the tournament. Playing it at a professional level, most certainly. Gorecki repositioning to avoid crowd control here with Thugonomics. Chun-Li sees Jamie overextended, so he's going to switch to Jamie. Big damage combined here with the Lightning Lasso. Alec is free casting. Curious to see who makes the move. Both Restoration Druids positioned far away from each other. And when they move forward to initiate crowd control, that is going to be a dangerous moment for either team. And I want to see who moves in first. Gorecki stuns Jamie. Alec is baiting Chun-Li, but I'm not sure how much of a bait it is. Thugonomics is there to back him up. Tossing out a Chaos Bolt. Alec blinks away with Asgrath repositioning, kiting across midfield once again. The only thing that I really feel like ABC are making big mistakes about is Asgrath's positioning occasionally too close to his teammates. And if they stack up for a double leg sweep, that could cost them the match. So he definitely needs to make sure he's keeping an eye on his teammates, not getting too close.
Yeah, good pressure here from Chun-Li. Lands a full leg sweep on Alec. Asgarath immediately responding with the Iron Bark. Nicely done. Now Jamie taking a few Chaos Bolts. Thugonomics really just looking for pressure and momentum where he can. That is how the boys play this setup. Chun-Li, he bounces around, finds consistent damage, tries to shut down Alex. Polymorphs is Frostbolt spam, limiting some of that Frost Mage damage, whereas Thugonomics, he's constantly just moving in, trying to find damage on Alec, but Alec makes that very difficult. So Thugonomics, if he can find pressure on Jamie and Asgarath, that's his job, to just tax the mana of Asgarath in this matchup. Touch Death landing onto Alec. What are they going to be able to do? There's no Iron Bark available. Thugonomics can find some burst. So difficult. Alec just kiting around the pillar. Thugonomics caught into the snare as he's trying to chase him, but it is a very slow walk to attack a Frost Mage.
Yeah, Chun-Li is doing his best. He desperately wanted to get an ice block with that attempt, but not finding it. Big heal from Gorecki. Very low health on Chun-Li, but no overreaction, no overcommitment in their defensive lineup. Both teams continue to play clean in game number 2. Ring of Frost connects. Chun-Li is polymorphed, and Thugonomics, he's in midfield with really nowhere to go too quickly. He's going to Mortal Coil, fear Alec, and deny any burst. Chun-Li is pressuring Jamie, so they couldn't capitalize on that crowd control whatsoever. Jamie now getting soloed by Chun-Li. Thugonomics fears Asgarath out of range of the Tremor Totem. That banks them an Astral Shift, so nice pressure from Chun-Li. Good crowd control for Thugonomics, and they continue pushing a lead.
Yep, Jamie taking a little bit of pressure right now, but once again, it's just so difficult for Thugonomics to get off the damage that he really needs, and ABC is doing exactly what I thought they would do. They just snare up Thugonomics, they just really limit the Destruction Warlock damage. But Destruction Warlock can cast Fears, he can cast Chaos Bolts. It's a very dangerous class, but he's just snared up. Everyone's out of line of sight. That is when it becomes omega frustrating for Thugonomics to really play that Destruction Warlock.
Omega.
Curious to see if Thugonomics, the Alpha Warlock, can get a kill here in game number 2 for his team, or if they're going to falter towards the final seconds of the match. Because in Deep Dampening, really, anything can happen. Even if it looks like you've been winning the entire match, at 40% Dampening, one big swing can knock you clean out. So ABC still stand a chance here despite being so far behind, with Dampening getting to critical levels. 27% healing reduction. Thugonomics has good presence of mind with that Fell Hunter demon chasing Asgarath. He needs to make sure that that is constantly hunting Asgarath and punching him in the face to keep him in combat and denying him from drinking to regenerate mana for late game potential kills. Crowd control across the board here on ABC. The boys push for big cooldowns. How much damage do they have? They swap to Jamie. No Astral Shift for 2 more seconds. Asgarath bides the time with Iron Bark, and it looks like it's going to be enough, but now Alec left open without that defense, and Chun-Li sees that opening. Touch of Death immediately activated by him. This is going to be an ice block, most certainly. Alex is going to respect the Touch of Death, but that's exactly the cooldown Chun-Li wants to get with it at exactly the right time. So the boys are still looking solid with their game plan.
Infernals are going to be available for Thugonomics in around 20 seconds. That could potentially be the second ice block of Alec if the boys can line it up correctly. 32% dampening. If we look at mana, Asgarath around 20%. We'll have to see where Gorecki stands at around 80% or even higher. So right now, the boys, in terms of mana, once again, they're doing great, but that's what we saw in the Grand Arena as well. And eventually, the ABC was just able to overwhelm Gorecki with one crowd control chain to take Thugonomics down. So the boys have to be prepared for that all-in one-shot setup. You can see ABC, Alec, he has his Icy Veins available, so there's going to be major offense available for ABC at basically the perfect moment in this match.
Good Shadow Meld by Alec, avoiding that Gladiator's Maledict during a push of the boys. That is buying Asgarath some breathing room, and he really needs a lot of room. That's not a lot of mana left to work with now at 36% Dampening. Gorecki is a lot more comfortable, and it's interesting that Tolvaron is actually advantaged to the boys. I was a bit surprised by this map selection on their part. I thought that the Frost Mage Elemental Shaman would have been a lot better, but Asgarath is finding it difficult to drink even on one of the biggest maps in pool. Jamie at half health and no mana. What are you going to do, Asgarath? You're put in the same situation where you have to pull off a miracle, but they're fully capable of it. That Polymorph Hibernate combo is so deadly. The boys need to be ready for that. They need to protect Gorecki from crowd control during that final push, and if they can do so, their lead is so significant that they should overwhelm ABC momentarily.
Yeah, definitely. You can see Chun-Li pushing in, Jamie getting really low. Gorecki caught into a full bash cyclone. Counter pressure here for ABC, but they just can't find the damage they need. Chun-Li already hiding behind the pillar. Thugonomics in a good position as well, just spamming out fear onto Alec. And although ABC got nice crowd control on Gorecki, there was just no damage to follow it up whatsoever. Good preemptive plays by the boys. Now the boys need to continue their momentum, continue their push. Touch of Death once again available for Chun-Li. Alec, this could be his second ice block, potentially the last ice block of the game.
Right before Touch of Death.
Yeah, things are looking really good for the boys.
Chun-Li has this game in his back pocket. There's Infernal, there's Touch of Death, there's no mana. If they lose at this point, it's a complete throwaway. Maybe they do, though. There's a Hex, with no stop on the Hex. Chun-Li in trouble, low on health. Gorecki's got mana to recover, though, and Asgrath doesn't have that luxury. They're trying to keep their pressure on Chun-Li. They're trying to force him to run away. They know he's a big threat with that Touch of Death, but equally so is Thugonomics with Infernals. They swap to Asgrath. Infernals are in. One Chaos Bolt is going to close this. If Thugonomics, they don't even need it. Touch of Death about to explode. Asgrath has no mana to heal, and he's too low on health. Touch of Death, KO! Asgrath goes down, and the boys' game plan pays off in game 2.
TC, they're going to know exactly what's going on with diminishing returns. And also, Venriki, on top of that, look at Alec. There's no way that he's going to miss an ice block with all of these add-ons that are currently available.
Dude, this joke. I mean, I appreciate okay, yeah, what joke. All right,
You a little sensitive about something?
No, come on, man. All right, Super T's, go ahead.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're tied up 1-1 between ABC and the boys. North America versus Europe in the lower bracket. Both of these teams face elimination. Nixie substituted in for Jamie. ABC, they're desperate to find an answer. Can their rogue mage Druid be enough to overcome the boys? Thugonomics, Chun-Li, and Gorecki with this Windwalker Destruction Warlock, as both teams are trading blows early on. No significant punches thrown just yet. Finally, Chun-Li's Fist of Fury flying. No Chaos Bolts, though, paired up with it. Thugonomics trying to fake cast some interrupts before going forward, or safely cast a Fear into a Chaos Bolt. Looking for that one now here. Gets counterspelled by Alec and denied. Asgrath in the back line, getting big, expensive heals for free on that Innervate. Well timed. Alec, he's moving forward. Nixie's moving up. Asgrath looks like he wants to get in there, but he's a little bit hesitant.
Yeah, and this matchup plays out quite similarly for ABC. Instead of the Elemental Shaman, you have the Assassination Rogue. And Assassination Rogues are quite good at shutting down a Destruction Warlock. You have the low cooldown kick as an interrupt, as well as that low cooldown kidney shot, the single target stun. If you can land a kick, you can land a kidney shot consistently onto Thugonomics, you can really limit his ability to get out burst damage. It's the same kind of thing. ABC, they want to drag out the game as long as possible. When they can get crowd control on Gorecki, that's when Alec is going to use the Empowered Spell Steal with Kleptomania, remove all the heal over time effects from Thugonomics, and that's when they can really start getting pressure rolling with the Frozen Orb, Comet Storm, and Ice Nova.
All right, big Chaos Bolts flying over towards Alec. Thugonomics is dishing out some juicy ones here in game number 3. Alec's going to duck for cover downstairs, so Chun-Li is in hot pursuit. Good positioning on Asgrath to entangling root Chun-Li, but likely has Tiger's Lust. No Tiger's Lust. Ring of Peace bounces Alec back, but then he blinks away from the Fist of Fury and polymorphs it during Touch of Death. Good reaction from Alec, not panicking during that moment. Touch of Death is totally negated for no real cost. Well done from ABC, good positioning.
Yeah, definitely good positioning. Chun-Li, once again, they want to secure that mana lead, so Chun-Li making sure he's chasing down Asgrath, denying anytime he gets out of combat, and looking to sip on some of that precious water. If he can drink on that water for long enough, he will be able to recover his mana, so that's why the boys are just making sure they're playing on top of him, not letting him escape, not letting him get out of combat. They can secure that mana lead in the late game. Nixie with another kidney shot on Thugonomics. Decent backup from Alec, but doesn't seem like he really has too much damage right now. Chun-Li's been pressuring him down quite a bit. This could potentially be the first ice block. Paralysis on Asgrath, Chun-Li in hot pursuit, but Alec with his kiting out of line of sight of Thugonomics, I think he should be able to survive.
Well done with these Frost Novas of Alec, spacing them out to try and get around that Tiger's Lust of Chun-Li, which breaks Frost Nova effects. So good positioning and avoidance from ABC. Again, that's what we credit them for. That's what got them their BlizzCon victory. So being able to stall a game, most certainly a strength of ABC. Let's see if they can execute on crowd control and burst, though, to find victory. We see crowd control engaged by Asgrath, though denied by Chun-Li with a double leg sweep. Gorecki going to be thankful for the support there of his player Chun-Li. Nixie still pressuring Thugonomics, but with no crowd control, he is easily recovering. Gorecki looks like he may be trying to sneak away and drink. Curious to find out how much mana he actually gets. Mana still too close to call any significant advantage at this point, and still anyone's match in game 3.
Yeah, definitely anyone's match, but as the game goes longer and longer, Thugonomics becomes more of a vulnerability in this matchup. So the boys, they have to secure their mana lead. They have to make sure they keep up the consistent pressure, because eventually Thugonomics, he's going to fall to this assassination rogue. There's no question about it. It's only a matter of time. They have to try to close out the game before then. They have to really limit what Alex is able to do, and I got to give credit to Chun-Li and Thugonomics. They've been putting a lot of pressure on Alec in this matchup. Paralysis now on Asgrath. Gorecki moving in into a full rake stun. Potential Cyclone, but no, Nixie shuts it down. It looks like ABC, they actually want to make a swap on a Gorecki, but he gets in bear form, and I think he should be okay.
Gorecki is actually running the Spring Blossoms talent, so his Efflorescence adds some extra healing, and this can be very effective against a rogue mage setup, because you can put your Efflorescence down on your team member before you get crowd controlled, and with the added extra healing, it can be just enough to survive a crowd control chain. That is one significant difference between Gorecki and Asgarath's build, but although switching to Gorecki is a great plan when a Druid is running this build,
nice.
Not using the Efflorescence at this point, which is a bit surprising. He's falling behind as a result of lack of healing with that talent selection. His Iron Bark is a significantly longer cooldown without the Stone Bark to reduce it. I'm curious if ABC can find that swap opportunity for a kill. That is likely to be their main win condition.
Yep, Asgarath was playing very aggressive there. The boys basically had no choice but to try to get some pressure. There's a nice double life sweep from Chun-Li, but Asgarath did manage to escape unscathed. With no trinket, Barskin and Iron Bark could be a little bit of trouble, but the infernal threat is gone from Thugonomics, so ABC's got to be feeling relatively healthy, although they haven't been able to develop too much pressure at this point. That was a nice swap on Gorecki, but he managed to live. Now Nixie chasing him down, gets caught into a rake stun. Thugonomics moving in. Alec and Asgrath just kiting away. Good positioning here, just very far away, but Nixie could be a little bit vulnerable. He's trying to just solo down Gorecki. Alec finally gets there for some assisted damage. Frozen Orb gets dropped out, but Thugonomics with the Fear Spam, with the Shadow Fury, was able to shut down that attempt. And I really feel like when they make these swaps on a Gorecki, there has to be a counterspell available from Alec to shut down the fears of Thugonomics. Otherwise, I feel like it's just wasted time.
All right, Alec avoiding a near-death experience there, tag teaming with Asgarath to recover. Gorecki is the target of choice here from ABC. It appears that they've given up all hope on killing any other target. They've got crowd control on 3 members. This is a good move by ABC. Can they pull off a kill? They're getting pretty close. Gorecki disrespecting the burst. He's also running Feral Affinity, which means he can't rely on Frenzied Regeneration to recover. So the lower that he goes, the riskier that it gets. Nixie feared away, support by Thugonomics, but Asgarath is jumping into the fight, adding some extra stuns. Gorecki manages to just walk it off and make it back to the pillar. Trying to sneak in a Hibernate, gets denied by Asgarath. Good dodge.
Yep, good dodge by Asgarath. And now Chun-Li turning his attention on Alec, but these consistent setups from ABC on a Gorecki are actually really scary. Gorecki at this point, no trinket, no Barskin. If they can get another kidney shot out of form, Gorecki could easily fall. It's going to be up to Thugonomics to make sure he has his Mortal Coil available, he has some stuns available to keep him alive. That's really the only vulnerable target I see for the boys right now. ABC definitely wants to capitalize on that.
All right, let's see if they can capitalize on it. Mana is now much more in favor of the boys, and potentially this rogue mage is not going to work out for them. And if it doesn't, what do? I mean, the Frostmage Elemental is surely their strongest or most practiced composition. I would say that the rogue mage is a close second. Maybe we see some Arcane, but Arcane into a Warlock? That doesn't sound too good. Chun-Li's got Touch of Death rolling. He's trying to get some pressure as they switch targets to Nixie. No Cloak of Shadows, no Gliders Medallion. Big hits. Asgarath, though, Innervate perfectly timed. Is it going to be enough? Feral Affinity damage adding to the mix. Doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Nixie survives the swap, engaging crowd control, getting the Gliders Medallion of Gorecki, opening them up for a switch with that for Icy Veins and the Vendetta. So ABC have 2 of their most powerful cooldowns, and they got Gorecki's Gliders Medallion, so he cannot escape a kidney shot. If ABC execute perfectly here, they can find a kill, and Gorecki knows he's the target. He uses Demonic Gateway to cross the map. Asgarath intercepts him. Actually decides to Cyclone him. They're switching targets. They're going to go after Thugonomics instead, but I mean, really? They're not even scratching him despite the full Cyclone. I do not think they're going to be able to kill that. Oh, but they get the Polymorph. Polymorph might be enough. Thugonomics interrupted. Can they pull it off then?
Great crowd control from Alec and Asgarath. That Hibernate Polymorph combo could bank them a win. Gorecki with no trinket. Thugonomics in a lot of trouble. He's already used the Unending Resolve, hovering around 20% health right now. They're trying to get counter pressure on Alec, but the Smoke Bomb gets dropped out. ABC could take him down right here, right now. Asgarath moving in. Thugonomics gates away, but it is not enough. ABC secure their lead in the series.
And you also look on the side of the boys, and as much as we're talking about ABC right now and everything they've accomplished in years past, when you look at this year in particular, the boys in their region have had a stronger year than ABC has had. The boys have looked very good in North America, and they want to try to even this one up here on Hook Point.
You can tell that Gurecki is focused there at the bottom left of your screen. Gonna need to be a shot caller. Hook Point's a dangerous map, smallest in the pool. Close-quartered combat, one mistake, one misstep in terms of positioning, as we already see Alec and Nixie making mistakes stacked up together, getting double stunned, but Alec's Shadow Meld equally skilled in dodging a Gladiator's Maledict's healing absorption. They survived the first attack, but it's the first of many.
Yeah, definitely. Smexon now caught into a polymorph. Chun-Li trying to deny some damage from Nixie. Nixie moving across the map, doesn't want to get caught behind the pillar in a stun when Asgaroth is in crowd control. Asgaroth now activating the Innervate, but here's an attempt on to Chun-Li. It's into a kidney shot. Do they have the damage to follow it up? DR Bash on Chun-Li. Could just fall. Gladiator Safeguard as well, as the Touch of Karma was traded out there by Chun-Li from the boys. He's going to be vulnerable. Gurecki knows that he is also a target in this matchup. Now Chun-Li looking to get aggressive and reverse the pressure. Touch of Death was used on Alec, but he blinks away. Chun-Li caught into a kidney shot, and unfortunately, boys weren't able to find the damage they needed.
Nixie sets up crowd control with cheap shots. Asgaroth jumps over for the Cyclone. Nixie gets in position to support Alec. Good attempt here by ABC, banking them in the anti-magic zone. However, fairly exchanged for Alec's Icy Vein, so no significant cooldown lead. Smexon keeps it cool, protecting his teammate, but now moving forward, there's still no Touch of Karma for 47 seconds. That's important for Chun-Li to be able to survive. We see Nixie dodging a leg sweep by just playing on the outskirts of both Smexon and Chun-Li, avoiding that stun and making sure that he's not opening himself up for a swap, allowing Asgaroth to spend a lot less mana and a lot less cooldowns. Good awareness from ABC, and if they can keep this play up, potentially they just take the series.
Yeah, Alec is just so patient with his blinks, his temporal shield. Anytime Chun-Li is going to use his images, use his Fists of Fury, Alec just immediately blinks away. And I was taking a look at some of his talents. He is stacking that cauterizing blink, so when Alec does decide to use those shimmer charges, that blink to get away from combat, he also gets a little bit of a heal. So very patient with his mobility, not wasting it, making sure that the boys, they have to commit some of those damage cooldowns in order for him to trade out that mobility. And I think that's just really intelligent from Alec, and it makes him a really difficult target to take down.
We saw a swap to Gurecki by Nixie, pulling a Barkskin right as Vendetta is available. Nixie, he's got his sights on Gurecki, I would think. At least that's what likely Gurecki is thinking through his mind. But if ABC are predicting that, then maybe they go after a different target to try and catch him off guard. Kidney shot on Chun-Li. This is to try and pull Iron Bark from Gurecki. He's not falling for that. Asgaroth in a polymorph that was stolen by Smexon's Dark Simulacrum. Nice play by Smexon. Definitely trying to carry the team. He was substituted in for Thugonomics, playing well. Any stolen polymorph with that honor talent could net them a kill. Again, gripped into a double stun. Nice play here. This might be an ice block. Then they could switch to Asgaroth as well if they need to. They're trying to buy time with Iron Bark. Asgaroth fake casts the Mind Freeze. Goes for a Cyclone. Nice play. ABC set up a swap. Everybody's in a stun. Gurecki's in trouble. The boys are on match point. Ray of Frost almost fully channeled. Gurecki on the run, on the ropes. Nixie all over him. Double skin. Has to be enough. Big swift mend. The Gladiator's Maledict is still absorbing some heals. Gurecki tries to jump to safety. Chun-Li trying to support, but Nixie and Asgaroth in hot pursuit. Tag teaming to take down Gurecki, but Alec can't get there to support. Gurecki survives, but with no cooldowns, he shapeshifts out of form. If Alec can get over there and deal any damage, Gurecki's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, Gurecki in a lot of trouble right now, although now behind the pillar. Alex still trying to throw in some damage. Gurecki trying to cross the map. If Nixie can get there with a Shadow Step, this is going to be devastation for Gurecki. Nixie just a slow walk over a Smexon trying to defend Gurecki with the Chains of Ice. Now Chun-Li reconnecting. Gurecki should be fine. He's almost bought enough time for that Barskin, for that Trinket. And once those cooldowns rotate back up, the boys got to be feeling very safe. But they've been on top of Alec in this matchup, still not able to get out a single ice block. But if we look at mana, there is a slight lead for the boys.
Yeah, they've got a slight lead. I mean, throughout this entire series in terms of mana, but they have to stay alive and make no mistakes whatsoever. It's match point. They're going to be sent home. $50,000 first place prize. BlizzCon spot on the line here in this elimination series between the boys and ABC. Asgaroth doing everything to try and regenerate mana and find drinks, but denied constantly by Chun-Li. Nixie setting up for a kill. kill, placing down the smoke bomb, looking to see if the boys overextend their defensive lineup. Gurecki disrespecting that smoke bomb, actually just sits down for a drink. The smoke bomb doesn't bank them any cooldowns. Gurecki gets full mana. The boys have a significant lead. Can they make it, Ben? Can they go to a game 5?
No, we'll definitely have to see. They need to win this game if they want to stay in this tournament. Everything on the line for the boys. ABC looking to send them packing home. Alec right now taking a little bit of pressure. Dampening has just kicked in on this matchup, but I just don't see it going that late into Dampening on hook point on this smaller map. Chun-Li now caught into a kidney shot. Once again, Spell Seal going to be traded out by Alec. I believe he is playing that Kleptomania talent. Yes, he's playing both Temporal Shield and Kleptomania in this particular matchup, so they can get really aggressive. There's swaps on a Gurecki. Anytime there's a kidney shot committed by Nixie, Alec's going to be able to back him up by removing all of those precious Restoration Druid heal over time effects. That's what makes this setup so devastating. Chun-Li now on Alec. Alec's actually pulling the trigger on Icy Veins. ABC, they want to get aggressive. They get a full kidney shot on Chun-Li with a blind on Gurecki. Gurecki immediately trinkets out, trying to reposition as Asgaroth moves in, manages to find the full bash. If they get the Ring of Frost, it's going to be so scary. Polymorph Hibernate. Once again, Gurecki caught in the situation. There's really not too much he could do. Chun-Li all by himself.
All right, Chun-Li, what are you going to do? The monk that never dies. Will he make it out alive? He has to at this point. If he dies here, he's got no more second chances. He's very low on health, has cooldowns to trade, but is holding out. Nixie connects. Dangerous time here for the boys. If they can kill him at the end of this stun, Smexen, he got the anti-magic zone just in time. This purple shield really the only thing keeping Chun-Li alive right now, as he's trying to be greedy with the rest of his cooldowns, but he's getting punished for the greed. Total Karma at 10% health. Close call. Chun-Li makes it out alive, and look at the mana. Asgaroth basically has nothing.
Yeah, just a little bit of mana left to work with, but you can't count ABC out just yet. In game number 1, Asgaroth was for quite a while, and they still managed to find a win. We'll have to see what exactly happens. Double grip, leg sweep on Asgaroth and Nixie. Decent pressure here for the boys. They need to find a little bit more damage. Everyone's kind of rotting down, and Asgaroth still doesn't have that Pressure's Innervate for another 15 seconds. It might be wise for him to just wait to put his heal over time effects on everyone so he can catch up with that Innervate, making all of his spells free of charge. It's a very powerful ability. In the meantime, though, Alec getting really low. Asgaroth holding onto that Iron Bark, playing it patient, but a full stun. This could cost the first Ice Block of Alec in this matchup. Not the best situation to be in. Gladiator Safeguard procs. Alec is just so greedy with that Ice Block, just plays it out so clinically. Never uses the Ice Block unless he absolutely has to.
Asgaroth activating that discount code Innervate to get some free heals, stabilize the team with almost nothing left, and that's equalized the mana. That's equalized the playing field. It's still anyone's match. ABC could take it and advance in the lower bracket, eliminating the boys, but equally so, the boys could as well. Touch of Death respected by Alec. He's going to trade Ice Block immediately so that he can just turn tail and push forward. Nixie, he's trying to reconnect to Chun-Li. Smexen is snaring up Alec, preventing him from crossing field, but now polymorphed. Gurecki not able to dispel that. Smexen's locked out of the match. Chun-Li's locked down in a stun. Transcendence across the field to try and stay alive. Gurecki was left behind. He repositions. Smexen and Chun-Li will now both connect. Ring of Peace knocks him into a double stun. Nice play by Chun-Li.
Yeah, nicely done. Fist of Fury now on Alec. He blinks away once again. There's only one Ice Block left. It is very unlikely Alec does hold on long enough to get 3 in this matchup. So the boys, they have one task left. If they can get through that second Ice Block, they got one check mark out of the way. If they can get through the Temporal Shield, which they have, as well as the Iron Bark, that is a recipe for a second Ice Block in this matchup. Asgaroth moving in. Alec looking for a full Ring of Frost. Manages to find it once again. Chun-Li all alone. He portals away. Pre-fortifying Brew. He realizes he is the main target. He just needs to survive as long as he can. He's been doing a good job kiting in this matchup. If he can avoid damage, if he can survive, the boys could easily claim this game.
Everything riding on Chun-Li to stay alive, but as Dampening get higher, Death Knights become a liability, so maybe ABC mix it up. They keep Chun-Li on the defensive, and then at a moment's notice, turn tail, they start attacking Smexen and try and take him down. Let's see if ABC connects you. They're still going after Chun-Li. Gurecki's in a triple Cyclone. Nice timing here by Asgaroth, but that was stolen by Smexen, who now lands a Cyclone of his own, but Gurecki gets polymorphed. He has to use the Gladiator's Medallion on a polymorph. He's going to be open to blind, and even still before blind, Chun-Li is in trouble. Anti-Magic Zone has to be committed. It's a race down to the finish, down to the wire between these teams on match point. How much longer can Chun-Li stay alive? Ring of Peace protects him from Nixie, but Alec is just teeing off with Frostbolt, Flurry combo, and Alec snipes the kill for the team. 3-1, advancing in the lower bracket.
That
classes in the game in this combination. And this is actually the first time we haven't seen a Restoration Druid, so this is going to be a unique matchup. Both teams face elimination. Can Wildcard Gaming battle it back for a rematch later on? We don't expect to see such a titanic team in the lower bracket this early on, but the competition is at its highest this year.
Yeah, well, it's one of those things. I feel like Wildcard Gaming, if they had locked in a Windwalker Monk, that is what Changed My Mind wanted to play into. With the Holy Paladin, you want to be able to use the Blessing of Protection on the Touch of Karma to take down a Windwalker Monk quite quickly. So Wildcard Gaming, kind of realizing the situation Changed My Mind is in, they decided to bring in the Moonkin Elemental Shaman Mistweaver Monk, and this is a very durable setup against what Changed My Mind is bringing. But on that Holy Paladin, and Poike will be able to conserve his mana for quite some time. I could see Change My Mind winning this.
Valet just getting destroyed right off the bat there. Has to use the Dispersion, a powerful defensive Shadow Priest cooldown. So he won't have that for another minute and 20 seconds. And Zeepai is firing on all cylinders still, with Valet ducking for cover at the corner here with Minpoike, and Maro is pushing forward as well. Acro Cyclone behind. Maro switches targets to him as well. Minpoike gets stunned. They've got Change My Mind pinned at the pillar. And as a Wizard Cleave with that triangle positioning, that could be deadly. Minpoike sees that he's getting cornered, so he leads the charge for his team, initiating crowd control. Looney saw that crowd control incoming and used Life Cocoon right before it landed, but even still may not be enough. The Repentance play from Minpoike on this Paladin bought them victory against Never Lucky yesterday, potentially finding them victory against Wildcard Gaming today. Perfect crowd control chain, banking multiple defensive cooldowns on the side of Wildcard Gaming, and this composition is looking good for Change My Mind.
Keep in mind what just happened. Wildcard Gaming, not only did they commit the trinket from Looney, they also used the Astral Shift from Zeepai. Smoke Bomb Kidney Shot, but Zeepai, he's outside of that Smoke Bomb, and Looney should be able to heal him up. That's a little bit unfortunate there for Change My Mind, but now in this situation, all they really need is one good crowd control on the Looney. They can Kidney Shot Zeepai, they can potentially take him down.
Big heals so far from Change My Mind. Mana totally full on their side as well. Acro going down in a stun lock is really all I see as potential.
Ooh.
Repentance on the way of the Crane. This is great play by Minpoike. Silence on Maro. He can't support the team. They dispel off the Ghost Wolf. Zeepai's in trouble on the run. If they can keep removing that Ghost Wolf, Zeepai may just go down. A sap out of the Hammer of Justice by Acro.
Oh!
This play is absolutely insane.
I told you.
What is this team? Why would they not play in this composition throughout the entire spring season? North America playing their classic Shadow Priest Rogue setup with a Paladin, and somehow, some way making it work despite being down a player. Their Mage Fried Kitty unable to attend. So as 3 players, they're left with no choice, no other options, but also no stress, because really are they expected to win? So with that taken into account, they're playing perfectly, and they're really just more relaxed than their opposing teams. And when you lose to a team where it's like, there's 3-man roster, well, we shouldn't lose, that might even just be tilting. We see early on Looney committing that Gladiator's Medallion to remove Blind, usually a typical trade, and I do like that Looney has switched over from the Mistweaver. I think that Minpoike would have otherwise punished that selection quite easily. The Restoration Druid going to be able to drag the fight out for some time. We do see Minpoike actually being pressured here on the Paladin. Early damage here in game 2. Divine Shield forced out. Minpoike going to respect that space, but that was not a cooldown committed by Wildcard Gaming, and they managed to scare Minpoike into using his most potent defensive. Let's see how Wildcard Gaming capitalize on this advantage.
Well, Minpoike and Change My Mind sort of spiced it up a little bit. Minpoike no longer playing that Repentance, which has been so good for him. Against the Restoration Druid, it isn't nearly as effective, so he's decided to go with the Blinding Light. That's going to be extra crowd control. If Minpoike can cross the map, he can get a Hammer of Justice into a Blinding Light, and who knows what's going to happen after that. Change My Mind has a big crowd control chain at their disposal. Looney with no Trinket, no Iron Bark. I could see them taking down Zeepai with just one clean setup.
All right, let's see if they can do it here. They managed to get a Gladiator's Medallion from Maro. Potential Smoke Bomb for an Ice Block. That could be a big push here from Acro. He's going to Trinket out of that Lightning Lasso and try and connect, but Maro kites him with the Frozen Orb. Good positioning, but Blessing of Freedom gets him out. The Purge off the Blessing of Freedom, but even still, Frost Nova now on Acro Law. Great kiting from Maro, but ultimately they connect. Smoke Bomb play here from Acro. That's going to be an Ice Block. Good setup, clean play if I change my mind.
Yeah, very nice setup. Acro eventually met him. Maro, or they need to be very careful against the Frost Mage like Maro. He's being able to spell steal that Blessing of Freedom. Although it gets Acro out of his snare, it allows Maro a lot of room to kite around. So I want to see Acro cancel that. If he gets Blessing of Freedom, he can take it off, and that way Maro isn't able to dispel it. Big burst damage over on Acro right now. Ray of Frost as well as that Lightning Lasso. Good pressure. Full kidney shot now onto Maro. Changed My Mind looking to reverse the pressure and potentially get out that second Ice Block.
Mana lead actually for Changed My Mind, and Minpoike is doing a phenomenal job on this Paladin. Not going down to the early pressure, able to survive, and now looking like he can extend the game into the late phases as well. Acro appears to be the main pressure point, especially on Ashamane's fall. That's going to be the best tactic for Wildcard Gaming. Go after the melee who has to overextend and compromise his positioning. Wildcard Gaming trying to take the edge here as Acro gets blasted. Shadow stepping back and able to avoid death. Now initiating crowd control for the team, stunning up 2 targets. Blind follow-up, silence on the trinket. Nice play here by Valet. Do they have anything out of this is now the question. They don't. They are not going to get a second ice block as a result, but getting the Gladiator's Medallion is still a major objective in the way of Change My Mind's victory.
Yeah, and Zeepai, basically what's happening is they're getting good crowd control over on the Looney, but as long as
swap.
Zeepai's there, he can get the heals out. Minpoike in a little bit of trouble right now. No Divine Shield. One Maledict connects the second. Minpoike could easily fall. Beautiful win shear by Zeepai. Wildcard Gaming punishing this Minpoike Holy Paladin, tying the series up. Oh, on the Windwalker Monk. Now, you'd expect the Windwalker Monk to be a little bit scared in this matchup, but I think with the backup of Zeepai and Looney on that Mistweaver Monk, I think they can actually survive past a lot of these crowd control changes, as long as Blizzo is very careful in this matchup.
I'm not sure if I'm sold on the Mistweaver pick. I mean, Looney is a phenomenal Mistweaver, but I think the Repentance is still such an effective crowd control that could counteract him. We do see Zeepai and crowd control. All 3 members locked down. Curious play by Change My Mind to mix it up. They might catch Wildcard Gaming off guard here on Runes of Lordaeron. Zeepai on the run. If they can continue the chain, they do. They get the Gladiator's Medallion on a silence of Looney? Or was that a dwarf ratio? We'll find out if he was able to remove that, because now blind could be deadly. They got the Gladiator's Medallion of Zeepai. That's an opening for Smoke Bomb now as well. Change My Mind have momentum, but finally Wildcard Gaming start punching back. Blade gets blasted, but immediately healed back to full by Minpoike. Acro is going to be the playmaker here. He's got the Smoke Bomb available. He sets up the blind right before that Gladiator's Medallion is available. The timing is perfect. Blizzo protects with that Ring of Peace. Thunderstorm as well. Looney is still crowd controlled. Now using the Gladiator's Medallion to break out of the chain. I want to see if Minpoike's crowd control can win the game in the next attempt. If he's able to get in position, land a Repentance without Zeepai or Blizzo denying it. Let's see if Minpoike can put the team on his back here. Despite being a man down in the tournament, Minpoike leads the charge here moving forward. Looney ducks for cover, avoiding the Repentance. Minpoike is chasing him, looking for it. Looney line of sights at the tombstone on the top of the hill. Good positioning from Looney to avoid the crowd control. He knows that's the game-winning crowd control, and Looney needs to stay as far away from Minpoike as possible.
Yeah, right now, Wildcard Gaming is very vulnerable. Good counter pressure on Valet, though. Nice leg sweep from Blizzo, making sure Valet's not feeling too confident in this matchup. Full Hammer of Justice paired with the Kidney Shot. Zeepai could be in a lot of trouble, but a beautiful Ring of Peace forces a lot of damage reduction onto Acro, and Zeepai manages to survive, and now it's Valet that's in trouble. He's gotten to his stun. Void Shift was used on him in Poike. Valet keeps himself alive, but at what cost? Blizzo
was the MVP on that play, protecting Zeepai, interrupting the Repentance, protecting his entire team. He's an amazing warrior, but as Arms Warrior not in the best position at the moment. He's playing just as phenomenally on that Windwalker, shutting down 2 locations in 2 important moments and saving the team, now buying them an opportunity to battle back. Vendetta available, though, here for Acro shortly. Already Life Cocoon shredded through. Looney sets up crowd control as they push for a kill on Valet. Poike has to be the one to respond, breaking out of that stun. He's going to have to use the Blessing of Sacrifice to redirect damage. Doesn't look like it. Big Holy Light comes in. Another Holy Light in the back line. All right, once again, Looney, Minpoike can carry the team. He's charging across center field. Looney still repositions. Minpoike moves in. This Hammer of Justice Repentance, they need to stop it. Repentance gets wind sheared. Good shutdown. That Kidney Shot was 1 second too late, but can they still find it? Silence instead. They need the Repentance. Looney is line of sighting it at this cart in the ooze. Minpoike can't get the crowd control. They go for blind instead. A few more seconds to that Gladiator's Medallion as Looney didn't have it lined up perfectly. Mind Bomb to cross crowd control Blizzo. They pull the Astral Shift from Zeepai. With no Astral Shift and no Gladiator's Medallion on Looney. Once again, the crowd control of Minpoike can close it out and put Wildcard Gaming on match point.
This positioning has just been phenomenal from Wildcard Gaming. Minpoike has not been able to get the Repentance. Zeepai is always there to back him up with the Wind Shear, with the Grounding Totem. And if he can't, Looney can just easily line of sight. Change my mind. They're not in the worst situation, though. Minpoike actually has a massive mana lead. Zeepai still falling low behind. Change my mind, actually doing quite well. There's a full silence on Looney. He preemptively gets the Life Cocoon out. Full Kidney Shot. Zeepai trinkets out, just trying to use the mobility of that Elemental Shaman paired up with Blizzo, who can keep everyone snared, using the Ring of Peace, keeping Valet out of line of sight. Right now, Wildcard Gaming is doing quite well, but Change My Mind is still in it.
Minpoike in a paralysis. Valet the target here. Blizzo trying to carry the team. He wants to put his team on match point and then just advance in the lower bracket. We were not expecting Change My Mind to even be putting up a fight without their Mage player Fried Kitty, but they are playing out of this world here against Wildcard Gaming. Zeepai's down at half. Blizzo once again desperately trying to stall with the leg sweep, but not able to. Blessing and Protection removes that to allow Acro to play aggressively. Zeepai's line of sighting Valet to avoid the dispels on his Ghost Wolf. If they can remove this Ghost Wolf, he will lose a lot of healing. Valet pushes up on the tombstone. He's dispelling. Will he find it? He needs to remove the Ghost Wolf. Astral Shift. It has to be enough. Will it be? The crowd control is endless. Ring of Peace protects Zeepai from Acro, but not from Valet. Zeepai, with good positioning around the tomb, has managed to weather the storm and survive the vendetta of Acro. Blizzo now with Touch of Death available is going to push for Dispersion. Is Valet ready?
Yeah, we'll definitely have to see if he can hold on just a little bit longer. Still, Minpoike's mana is doing quite well. Full kidney shot on Zeepai. If Minpoike can get in a position to land a Repentance, things are going to get scary for Wildcard Gaming. Looney decides to trinket out of the blind, managing to push in for crowd control on him. Minpoike lands the full leg sweep. Zeepai in trouble. There's the cheap shot. Potentially set up Minpoike, but he's out of line of sight. He can't get the Repentance. A little bit of a disaster there for Wildcard Gaming, but Acro manages to land a beautiful interrupt on the Looney. And Zeepai still in a lot of trouble. Can Change My Mind claim game number 3. Ring of Peace denies Acro follow-up damage. Zeepai manages to hold on.
Look at the mana. It's down to the wire here as Dampening has just set in. Zeepai gets stunned. He's not in Ghost Wolf. Any crowd control on Looney. This could just be over. There is no defense. Repentance is secured, and it's all on Blizzo to protect Zeepai, but I don't think he can do it. Change My Mind, put Wildcard Gaming on match point.
The snipe with the Maldic from Valet at the end of that one.
A corner, and this Shadow Priest Rogue has managed to find the victory against Never Lucky of North America, and now Wildcard Gaming of Europe, they've got him on match point.
Match point for Wildcard Gaming. They got to figure something out. Tournament lives on the line right now. Walking into this tournament, I feel like a lot of people expected them to walk away with the entire thing, earn their spot to BlizzCon, but it's an uphill battle at this point.
I'm very curious to see if Wildcard Gaming can stay alive. This is an elimination game for them. No mistakes can be made. Acro already pulling the Gliders Medallion from Looney with a blind, creating openings for his team early on. Acro weaving in and out to avoid being leg swept, trying to get in there, but gets gripped into it. Zeepai is not going to be fooling around, immediately summoning in that Abomination. Valet is trying to get it under control with a shackle, but being denied. That Abomination is getting full uptime. They want to go after Acro, but he is now able to sort of bob and weave in and out of the fight. And Minpoike stunned, but no momentum just yet. Acro saved his kidney shot to stun Blizzo while Minpoike was stunned, so good defensive posturing from Change My Mind early on as they wait for that Abomination to fade, which it now has.
Yeah, Blizzo hasn't been forced away just yet. Normally in this matchup, we see Change My Mind's composition. They go after the Windwalker Monk, force him to run away, but they just haven't found the damage yet. Blizzo with a beautiful diffused magic before the kidney shot. Still trades out his trinket, uses that Transcendence to get away, relaying his port. So Blizzo's going to be relatively safe as long as he has his portal in a good spot. Good pressure here, still for Change My Mind. The crowd control isn't over. Blizzo forced to trade out his Touch of Karma, and all of a sudden, Blizzo went from having every single defensive to none at all. Wildcard Gaming is very vulnerable.
This is match point. They've still got Looney locked down, and they've still got a lot of damage. Life Cocoon is going to save Blizzo, but Cyclone at low health. Minpoike switching between Paladin to Druid, making it look like he has been playing Druid all day. Look at these Cyclones, denying the Touch of Death Burst, denying the absorption effect of Looney's Life Cocoon. Now, can they set up crowd control? Silence. Looney is
in
able
trouble.
to get out of that. Now stunned up, but with no crowd control. Looney is dealing with the pressure quite well. Blizzo wants to push forward, but he's so vulnerable in this position. They try to swap to Minpoike. He trades Barkskin, manages to escape to safety. Vampiric Embrace from Valet should stabilize the team throughout this onslaught. Acro still crowd control Looney with a kick. I'm wondering if Valet is running the Mind Bomb talent. If they've got a silence Mind Bomb anytime soon, that could pull a Glider's Medallion, and if they get that before blind, that could just be the end of the game. This could just be the end of the tournament for Wildcard Gaming, the number 2 seed from Europe. We were saying that they could take this entire thing, and they're going to lose to a team that's a man down in desperation, backed into a corner.
Yeah, Minpoike, he managed to sit down and recover some of his mana by sipping on some water. Acro and Valet both rotting down, though. This could be dangerous. In the meantime, Blizzo taking quite a bit of burst. Change My Mind under pressure. What are they going to be able to get done? Mind Bomb on the Looney, kidney shot on Blizzo. Anti-magic zone, it has to be enough. Blizzo holds on. Gets Cyclone on his trinket, but he still has Touch of Karma, Diffuse Magic, as well as that Fortifying Brew. So a lot of defenses available here for Wildcard Gaming. As long as he doesn't get caught in his stun, things are going to be looking good.
Beautiful Cyclones from Minpoike, now switching the crowd control over to Looney. Not able to find the Cyclone, actually. Z-Pipe protects him with a Death Grip and a stun. Now they actually swapped him Minpoike, trying to soften him up and go after him. But I will say Minpoike's experience on Druid unlikely to go down as easily as he did with the Paladin in this situation. So Wildcard Gaming still have a lot of work ahead of them. No Gladiator's Medallion, no on either Blizzo or Looney. This is dangerous. There's Vendetta. If they can kill him in a stun, he's not going to be able to access Touch of Karma or Diffuse Magic. Acro could set up for victory. Change My Mind must know that, but they're also in danger with no Gladiator's Medallion on their healer or their Shadow Priest, so it's a risky move to go for. They are going to go for it. They need another stun. Blizzo comes out. He Diffuse Magics. He needs to potentially Touch of Karma, sap out of the Mind Bomb. Acro sets up for victory. Blizzo Transcendence is away. Looney is still locked down. Blizzo needs to try and avoid it, but Acro's all over him. Valet trying to march forward, but he's snared, not able to connect. Good avoidance from Blizzo. Now he's pushing forward for some damage on him in Minpoike. What can he get done? Minpoike exchanges Barkskin and Iron Bark, connects to Swiftmend, and stabilizes. Looking at the mana, still too close to call. It's anyone's match. Cooldown-wise, Change My Mind are ahead.
Yeah, this is something I consistently call out, but Blizzo, Transcendence, middle of the map. This is looking good for Change My Mind. Blizzo, he has his trinket, but he doesn't have an escape route. They catch him in a stun. If Blizzo gets caught a little bit far behind, it's going to be difficult for him to actually retreat. But a nice swap over on him in Minpoike. They could just take him down. Gladiator safeguard procs, Minpoike in full retreat. Blizzo chasing him down, and now into a full kidney shot. Smoke Bomb gets traded out. Blizzo trinkets into a cheap shot. Good crowd control here for Change My Mind.
Oh,
and Blizzo hold on.
They silenced the Death Knight to stop his denial to get a Cyclone. Clutch play by Valet, but now he won't be able to Mind Bomb with the chain. And that was a much more threatening chain. I'm not sure if that was necessary. Minpoike is stunned up in midfield, trying to kite and avoid Blizzo and Z-Pi, but they are just zug-zugging down the healer. Will Minpoike be able to deal with the pressure? Can he keep it together? Can they pull off the victory against the Titans? Wildcard Gaming.
Minpoike, you can see, looking to get out of combat, looking to get some mana returned. Acro with a nice Shadow Step kick on the Looney. Blizzo still a little bit vulnerable. He's actually running the good Karma talent, so not using the Ring of Peace, but when he uses that Touch of Karma, he will get some additional healing, which makes it very difficult for Change My Mind to push through that defensive cooldown. If they decide to just attack into it, Blizzo's going to get healed up, and they might not know that.
Yeah, most certainly could be the case. Valet now the target. Nice double leg sweep from Blizzo. Good pressure on two targets. Minpoike burning through mana fast, and now getting swapped to Wildcard Gaming, keeping Change My Mind on their toes. Multiple fronts of danger at this point. Fade exchanges by Valet. That makes him immune to incoming damage. Now looking to counterattack. Gladiator's Maledict activated. Looney dispels that instantaneously. Blind. No Gladiator's Medallion for Looney. Touch of Karma. If they can cut through the Touch of Karma, they don't trust it. They're going to use the anti-magic zone as well. They get the sap. Perfect follow-up by Acro. This could just be it. Do they have anything off the back of the sap?
Blizzo
Doesn't
ports
look like
it.
He ports nowhere. He gets mind controlled back into midfield by Valet. Despite the blunder, doesn't get punished. And Blizzo, you cannot afford these mistakes. You're on match point, man.
Yeah, Minpoike managed to sneak away, get a little bit of mana back. Unfortunately, didn't have the time. There's still good pressure here for Wildcard Gaming. Blizzo now surviving, has his trinket, has a Fortifying Brew. Things are looking good. Valet getting low. This could be the dispersion easily. Blizzo with the Whirling Dragon Punch. Valet with a well-timed Greater Fade does manage to escape. Right now, Change My Mind. They're still just going after Blizzo. Good crowd control on Looney, but Minpoike is really struggling to keep his team alive.
He most certainly is, but the mana is still even. Dampening continues to rise. They pull Gladiator's Medallion from Acro. He's a swap target now later on. Looney playing Way of the Crane could make a push for his team as well. He has not used it the entire match. That could add enough damage to find a kill, though. Minpoike gets gripped into the fray. 3 targets stacked up. That's going to be a lot of pressure that Minpoike needs to deal with swiftly. He is able to wild charge to safety in the back line. I love that Change My Mind took advantage of this map for their own favor. They switch to Z-Pi, knowing that deep in Dampening, the Death Knight is more vulnerable. They pull his most vital defensive cooldown, Icebound Fortitude, right before that critical 40% point. Now there's 2 targets that Looney needs to be worried about. Change My Mind are setting themselves up well for victory if they can hold it together.
Yeah, Valet taking quite a bit of burst. There's a Cyclone on Zeepai. They're changing their target. Zeepai getting low. He has to trinket out. Anti-magic shell. And now Zeepai, he's got nothing left. There's still crowd control on Looney. Is he going to trade out his trinket? He has the life cocoon if he needs it. Zeepai has to get off some death strikes to stay alive. And it looks like Wildcard Gaming, they're going to be switching it up. They're going after him in Poike. He's got no trinket, but Smoke Bomb getting dropped out. Zeepai could be in some trouble. Looney activates the life cocoon. Nice life grip there by Valet. That leap of faith to save him in Poike. Zeepai gets topped off, but still really vulnerable.
All right, Acro in a stun. Huge damage. Valet once again saving the day. Void Chip, and now Blizzard switches targets. Trying to capitalize on that and keep Poike pressured. Mana slightly in favor of Wildcard Gaming now, but cooldown-wise, Zeepai is exposed. Valet has Vampiric Embrace rolling. That's going to heal the whole team up. Well timed by Valet right now. These last 3 pushes, he is totally shut down Wildcard Gaming single-handedly. Blind, big move here. No defense. Can they get on target? Acro is Chains of Ice. He has to pick between sapping and doing damage, but he can't even get there to sap. They break up the chain. Looney's out of crowd control, but Poike leads in with a bash. Is he just going to go down to bash? 4 more seconds to that anti-magic shield, or sorry, to the life cocoon. Anti-magic shield available to buy that time. Zeepai holds on, but I would have never thought that Change My Mind are this close to eliminating Wildcard Gaming. Nobody could have predicted it, and it's still anyone's game. You don't want to go anywhere. This is coming down to the wire.
It definitely is. Wildcard Gaming tournament life on the line at this point. They're battling it back, forcing Valet into the dispersion, and Poike completely out of mana. Have they turned this fight in their favor? There's a full kidney shot. Cheap shot onto Looney's Way of the Crane. Looney looking to get really aggressive. I think that's his first Way of the Crane of the entire game. Wants to finally push Change My Mind over, but they're managing to hold on. I think they ran out of time. Valet slowly but surely will fall with the full leg sweep. And Poike just nothing left, no gas. And Wildcard Gaming tie up this series in a very close game.
Priest Rogan, well, it's working better for them than anything else in the spring season, and they may just be able to take down Wildcard Gaming, a team that we expected to take the entire tournament. This game will decide it. The winner advances, the loser goes home.
Yeah, we'll have to see what exactly Morrow can get done. So far, he's been doing a really good job in the series. When they played the Elemental Frost Mage, it was not even close. Acro's going to have to do a good job shutting him down in this match, and I'm curious, for Change My Mind, who do they go after? Are they just going to play the control game, go after Morrow, utilize the defensive dispel that Valet has available? And I think if they do that, it's going to be really difficult for Morrow to survive.
Yeah, it most certainly could be. I do like that Looney has switched off the Mistweaver Monk. I think that specialization would have just lost the tournament. So on his Druid, Poike's Druid, head-to-head between Titans. Looney, the BlizzCon champion from years prior. Can he keep it together for his team? They're on match points. Valet, Acro, and Poike, they've got so much synergy on this composition. It's almost as if they've been playing it their entire lives. Looney is still locked down. Morrow the target, isolated. Big hits rolling in. Acro keeps the chain going. This could be an ice block forced early on by Change My Mind. Can they get it? They need it. They're just a couple points of damage away, but they don't get it. Denied.
Morrow just playing it so greedy. Now into a full kidney shot with the smoke bomb. Do they have the damage to force the ice block? Blizzard with a beautiful Ring of Peace does back up Morrow just a little bit. Morrow blinks away, uses the ice barrier, and manages to hold on to that precious ice block.
All right, Morrow, can you keep it up here against Change My Mind? Any mistakes? Both sides are literally sweating as we see them on the cameras in the bottom left and right-hand side. It's been a long and grueling battle between these teams in the lower bracket as Europe looks to eliminate a European team as well. There's only one North American team left in the tournament, and that's going to be up next. Cloud9, the last hope for North America. Every single team was respecting them as the team to take it in the tournament, but Change My Mind, the dark horse, the underdog of the tournament, might have something to say about that if they can eliminate Wildcard Gaming here in Game 5.
We'll have to see if they can get it done. Morrow finding some crowd control onto Acro. His objective in this game, when he's in trouble, he just needs to run away from Valet, avoid a lot of those Dispel Magic effects, so he can keep those heal over times from Looney, as well as that precious Ice Barrier, which is a huge absorb Frost Mages have available. You can see it utilized right now on his character. If Valet can dispel that, that's going to be devastating for Morrow. But if he can keep that up by using line of sight, just doing these hit and run strategies, Morrow just moves in. When Blizzo has Fist of Fear, when he has good burst damage, that's when they can get aggressive. And Poike playing the balance affinity, actually, it's just so difficult in this matchup for Morrow to get the crowd control he really needs. Unless Looney's able to push in, get a bash, that could set Morrow up for a Ring of Frost. But on his own, it is so unlikely Morrow does manage to find the polymorph.
The competition this year is at its pinnacle. It is at its apex. Even a team down a member is taking out the #2 seed from Europe potentially here in Game 5. Acro engaging crowd control. Maro the target. They need to get an ice block. They're 1 second away off the end of the sap. Maro once again dancing with death here, holding on by a thread, holding out as long as possible, not willing to trade out that ice block. A risky gamble, but he gets away with it again. Mana totally even, and it's anyone's match still. Good denial on Blizzo's Touch of Death with that Cyclone. Not going to be pulling too many powerful cooldowns, and I must say, commend Minpoike. He has stepped up in this tournament. His mindset, his focus on positivity for his team is definitely paying off.
Yeah, it definitely is, and like you said, these Druids are relatively even on mana, but right now, Looney does have a slight advantage. And if this game keeps going on and Maro's able to hold on to those 2 ice blocks, that may be too little too late for Change My Mind. They have to start forcing out some of these cooldowns, but Looney, he's always just sitting on the Iron Bark position very far away. The Ring of Pieces from Blizzo have been really protective for Maro, denying Acro any sort of damage. Maro's been doing a really good job in this matchup, kiting, landing the Frost Novas, landing the polymorphs he needs. But these Garrote silences from Acro will shut down some of that crowd control. Maro continuing to just run and hide down into a kidney shot. Unfortunately, it was just a half kidney shot on Maro. Bit of a misplay there for Acro.
Hook Point's the smallest map in the game. You really can't drink on this map. You can close the distance so easily. Look, Looney's trying to. Minpoike sees him, runs across the field, denies it. No mana regenerated for Looney. Bashed on his Innervate. That is devastating for Wildcard Gaming because this could come down to mana. Minpoike denies the Innervate, gets the crowd control, creates an opening for the team. Acro tried to move over, maybe to potentially sap out of it, but not going to find it. Blizzo now cycloned up, denying the reconnect. Still a slight lead for Change My Mind. I can't believe those words are coming out of my mouth. There is a lead for Change My Mind. They are down a player in this tournament. They're in a lower bracket. They've faced elimination time and time again, but somehow they're keeping it together. And I don't even think Wildcard Gaming could have expected this. Even every time they lose to Change My Mind, they're just like, what happened? What has just happened? And here in desperation, they break out Windwalker, Frost Mage to try and figure out an answer to this Shadow Priest Rogue, and it has to be enough. This is match point. Everything comes down to it.
Yeah, they're going after Acro now, and Acro is actually really vulnerable. He's used his Cloak of Shadows. He's used his Feint. He really doesn't have much left. And Poike gets caught into a bash. He has a Trinket as well as his Iron Bark, forced to trade both out in order to keep Acro alive. Blizzo looking to get hyper-aggressive right now with that Touch of Death. Acro with the Shadow Step, Smoke Bomb, Kidney Shot on Maro. Maro Trinkets out, still trying to kite away. Avoiding using this Ice Block at all costs, but finally,
overlap.
The first one is traded out with an overlap from Looney.
Acro, though, is still in trouble. If Change My Mind can't get him regenerated back to full, it could be trouble. Maro gets stunned. No way out. Iron Bark's defense is going to be fading. Valet will be stripping off those heal over time effects. Mana is still totally even. Cooldowns as well, I would say, in this position are very close. These teams are so evenly matched in Game 5. It could go either way. Maro is cycloned at a little bit low health. Minpoike's cyclones have been so amazing. Looney tries to respond with one of his own, but gets denied by Valet. Now a Mind Bomb. This is trouble. Trouble town for Maro if Acro can connect. Blizzo preventing Acro from making it over, but he does inevitably. They strip off the Temporal Shield instantly. Ring of Peace denies a little bit of the reconnect, but Acro is still poking him with the Fan of Knives. Frost Nova. Maro tries to pause the fight as long as possible, but Looney, he seems to be struggling. Now finally able to get crowd control on Minpoike. Bash. He tries to life grip him out of line of sight of the Cyclone, but not able to. Actually life gripping Acro to safety at the pillar. Minpoike comes out of the Cyclone, no follow-up. Iron Bark saves the day. Looney escapes. Is he going to be able to regenerate mana? If Looney gets mana on this drink, it could be the game-winning play. I think he's going to. Minpoike's trying to get there. He snipes him with the Vortex, but he already got mana. That's devastating for Change My Mind.
This is disastrous for Change My Mind. That's what they needed, but Looney was able to sneak away in a moment of offense for his team. Looney now with the Iron Bark on the silence into a full Mind Bomb. Maro still just one ice block away. Could potentially fall. Acro has to trade out his Vanish as well. That's just great pressure coming in from Blizzo and Maro. Everything on the line for both of these teams. This is an elimination match. They will be knocked out of this tournament if they lose. Maro getting low. Is this going to be a second Ice Block? Bash on Looney. Doesn't want to have to trade out his Trinket. Icy Veins gets traded out by Maro. Looking to get hyper-aggressive onto Acro. Valet backing him up with a beautiful Dispel. Removing that offensive cooldown. And now, Touch of Death on Acro. Iron Bark has a response, and even on mana, both of these Druids are.
Even with the drink, the mana's evened out. It's still anyone's fire, 15% dampening. Blind, Looney Trinkets. Now exposed to Silence Mind Bomb. Valet has the crowd control. Acro has the damage. If they line it up, this should be an easy ice block and likely the last one of the game. They can line up another setup after that. Change my mind, eliminate Wildcard Gaming. Absolutely unbelievable. Blizzo, of course, is going to do everything in his power to deny that, keeping pressure up on Acro throughout, but Vendetta has been bopped. The Mind Bomb has been secured. Maro's second ice block is the target. They get it, and Change My Mind are one setup away from eliminating Wildcard Gaming.
This is unbelievable. Valet, he still has his Void Shift. There's the kidney shot on Maro. Ring of Peace, the last line of defense. Maro, can they take him down? Change My Mind, looking to pull off a miracle in this matchup. Looney does stabilize his health, and Maro does manage to survive.
No evasion for Acro. No icebox for Maro. No mana for either Restoration Druid. You couldn't ask for a better Game 5 in the lower bracket as both teams face elimination. They both lose out on an opportunity to qualify directly to the BlizzCon World Finals. They all lose out on an opportunity at $50,000 in one game, and they are so close to victory on either side. Looney predicts the silence, and Ironbark's right before it, denying the kill. Minpoika equally so, anticipating crowd control with Ironbark, but as Ironbark fades, that's the last line of defense for either side.
Kidney shot on Maro. They got the smoke bomb paralysis. They're looking to close out this game and send Wildcard Gaming home. Maro in desperation, temporal shield. Looney finds some heals, beautiful peels by Blizzo to keep Maro alive. Now Wildcard Gaming, they have to find some counter pressure in this matchup, or it's just a matter of time before they lose.
These teams are of such a top level that the last line just keeps moving back. They get a sap. They catch Looney while he was trying to go for a drink. He's totally exposed. Then Poike, where are the clones? Maybe they don't have the diminishing returns. They go for the Mind Bomb instead. They go for the safe play. They keep it clean. They keep it clinical. And Change My Mind are seconds away from killing Maro. They're seconds away from eliminating Wildcard Gaming. Looney doing everything he can. He's got no mana. He's blinded up. He trinkets. Maro is still being pressured. Blizzo tries to counter-aggress, but he gets cycloned and denied. Minpoike is absolutely playing out of his mind right now, denying the counter pressure. Dispel instantly on the Maledict, but Maro is so low, and Dampening is so high. Temporal shield in the last and final seconds of the game. Will it be enough? If Acro can't connect, he can't. Blizzo's denying the connect. Ring of Peace, double leg sweep, and Blizzo is trying to turn this around.
This would be a complete miracle if they could take down Acro. There is no way. Void Shift comes out from Valet. And Poike can't believe it. He has to keep Acro and Valet alive. Maro still low. This is do or die for both of these teams. Silence into Mind Bomb. Valet with game-winning crowd control, but Maro with the Icy Veins immediately dispelled by Valet. Maro still running. He's still hiding. He has Cold Snap in just 10 short seconds. He has to hold on. Also doing everything he can. There's the Cyclone from Minpoike denying some of the damage, but Acro's in a lot of trouble.
3, he's in a stun, he can't do it. Looney's Ironbark buys some time. There we go, he's got another block. Wildcard Gaming suddenly have the cooldowns to survive. They suddenly have an opportunity to stay alive in the lower bracket. They've got a lead, but the mana's totally tapped still. Pressure is still mounting. They could immediately get the ice block. Blizzo is playing out of his mind, snaring Acro. He's trying to vivify and heal Marman. Poike is star searching. He's gonna get the ice block for the team here. There's no defense. There's nothing left in this match. Dampening is totally at critical mass. There's no mana. There's nothing.
There it is.
The underdogs of the tournament are gonna take it. They're gonna take it. They have done it. Outstanding!
Outstanding on hook point. Never has that word been used so well. The disbelief, the energy.
Shamans are really good at stopping Chaos Bolts with Grounding Totem and Wind Shear, and Method Black may have gone to the strategic drawing board here to say, what do Destro Warlocks hate? Well, they hate Shamans, so let's just bring 2 Shamans. What else do they hate? Rogues? Okay, let's just bring 2 Shamans and a Rogue, because Method Black really didn't seem like they had an answer for the Mage Warlock, and I guess this is what they think is their best shot. If they can win the blind pick with it, that is of utmost importance. We're in the upper bracket between North America, Cloud9, the last North American hope. Method Black, on the other hand, the top point earners from Europe as they go head-to-head.
I actually really like this composition from Method Black. I was concerned they were going to be overconfident in the mirror. I don't think you should lead with it. There were some rumors that perhaps, Raikou was very confident off of yesterday. Maybe he would fancy his chances in the mirror. But first, they're going to go for what they think is their best answer. And of course, knowing the Mage Lock Druid is coming in, you see big damage over onto Channels early. Doesn't overreact, doesn't trade out the Unending Resolve for those Maledicts, just using the Spell Reflect, the Ironbark from Cubsy as well. Well matched in this opener, but the double Shaman is going to be interesting because, of course, yesterday we only really saw Sea-Doo running the Restoration Shaman, and obviously it didn't work out too well for them. We criticized the Restoration Shaman Shaman's lack of healing, but with Swapsy and Waz being more evasive, it might be better.
There's a lot of pressure right now from Cloud9, a bit unexpected. I anticipated that the lockdown would prevent a lot of Cloud9's damage, but Swapsy has been hovering low on health for a significant amount of time, and as Chaz is running that Restoration Shaman, he's exposed to interrupts. Cloud9 have 2 of those, and they're long duration, so it could be deadly if even one is secured onto Chaz. So maybe he's hesitant to heal. We haven't seen him on his Shaman in a long time. That could be another thing as well, because Swapsy is just getting destroyed. I mean, that's a Spirit Link totem already out of the way. The pressure from Cloud9 is mounting, and now it's coming down to, is there a comp that can beat Cloud9's Mage, Warlock, Druid? Because if this one doesn't, which you would think is the absolute utter counter comp. I mean, what else could make a Warlock's life more of a living nightmare than 2 Shamans in a rogue? Like, I mean, I really can't even think of anything that's more devastating, but they're just shaking it off. It's almost as if it's not even a counter. Look at the pressure.
Yeah, I'm not actually 100% convinced it is a counter. I mean, it's not like it's a matchup that's played very often, so this is kind of like the mad scientist Swapsy probably thinking up, like, how can I annoy Channels as much as possible? Channels is the playmaker, I'm going to shut him down, but so far, Method Black have been struggling. That said, the advantage of the Restoration Shaman is that their mana management is fantastic. You can see his blue bar, the smaller blue bar below the other blue bar, is still high. He has a lot of that mana resource, meaning that he can heal for a long time, and they're going to have to play for Dampening, right? Like, they're not going to kill the Warlock until that Soul Leech healing is reduced by the healing reduction buff later in the game. Swapsy, though, I'm kind of confused as to why he's playing more aggressively right now. I'd love to see him just kind of humping the pillar if that's the goal here. Just hug the pillar the entire game, sit by it, avoid those frost bolts, avoid those chaos bolts, and don't force Chaz to heal and spend that resource.
Well, it's because Cubsy wants to drink. That's what Swapsy is realizing as he's trying to chase him down and stop it. Mana is the name of the game. If they can't get ahead of it, crowd control secured by Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man is doing so much damage. He knows that Channel's being pressured. It's really difficult for Channel to get much going, and Wealthy Man has stepped up to the plate, getting crowd control and pressure for the team, despite Channel being totally countered by the entire team of Method Black with his elemental rogue Restoration Shaman. And this really pays into the respect that Method Black must have for Chanimal to craft this composition. They say that Chanimal is the best player on the team, and they even think that if Chanimal maybe isn't on the team, that Cloud9 aren't of the same caliber. So crafting this composition to try and lock Chanimal out of the fight is an interesting strategy, but Cloud9 are proving that it's not just Chanimal. Wealthy Man dealing tons of damage here. Could just be a kill if Chaz gets interrupted even once. Healing Tide Totem in reposition is allowing Swapsy time to recover. Mana still even. Cubsy sits down. How much mana will Cubsy get off of this drink? Not too much, but he is ahead, which is surprising.
I think being ahead of the Restoration Druid by such a small margin actually isn't necessarily a good thing for Cloud9, because the Restoration Druid will burn through his mana faster. He needs to get one of those, you know, massive 30 to 100 mana drinks that we see from Resto Druids going, you know, Prowl, maybe Shadow Mend on the other side of the map, get the crowd control from the Mage Lock Druid. And I mean, I think the odds are good that he's going to achieve it against Chanimals and Wealthy Man. Chanimals and Wealthy Man have been commended multiple times on their ability to just control the enemy team, you know, with the polymorphs, with the fears, and they're really making Method Black work for it, as they should be in this matchup. That said, the pressure has started to settle down a little bit. Method Black is stabilizing. Chaz is doing a good job, and they need to keep the pressure on Chanimals now so that Cubsy is forced to heal.
All right, let's see if they can get it done. Cubsy's mana is still ahead, but like you said, not by much, and with the Druid, you want to be basically full mana at this point. First thing, a Shaman. Polymorph secured. Wealthy Man once again MVP here for North America on that Frost Mage. Swapsy is still low on health. Chanimal's trying to close this game out. He is getting denied a bit. Now stunned up by Waz. Polymorphs are over. Chaz has time to recover. Still counterspell available for a Wealthy Man, so we do want to make sure that Chaz is able to avoid that. If he is not, then that could be Swapsy's life. Wealthy Man pausing the fight, trying to buy time for Cubsy to drink, but an Earthbind Totem snipe will deny it. That is the other advantage of bringing 2 Shamans, is you've got a lot of totems that you can throw at Cubsy to keep him in combat. You got a lot of Earth Elementals as well, so this is a smart composition, although surprising from Method Black, but I'm not sure if it's going to work.
Yeah, Method Black are working together as a unit to stop these drinks too. You see Waz pushing up for the distract. If Cubsy re-stealths, then both the Shamans pushing together. Chaz, the healer, currently with the most offensive positioning, because he knows, like, Chaz won't die. They're not going to kill him in this matchup. They theoretically in Dampening they could go for it, but right now they certainly won't. So even he, you know, can push for those Earthbinds, push those Earth Grubs if he's running it, and the whole team needs to be on top of this game because that is the win condition here. We see Kidney Shot onto Chanimals once again. The longer that Cubsy is running away for those, you know, drink attempts, the more that Waz is going to deal damage. I actually kind of like this defensive blind as well onto Wealthy Man. They recognize the win condition is mana, so there's no real point to crowd control Cubsy. They're not going to force his trinket. Chanimals is always going to be fine, so just shut down a bit more damage.
I suppose Method Black are playing for the long haul, the deep dampening kill. Can they make it, though, to that light at the end of the tunnel? Because I would say the pressure has been in favor of Cloud9 throughout. 3 targets softened up here for Cloud9. Who are they going to tee off on? Cubsy's in the corner. Is he going to get sniped on the drink? Yep. Waz is able to deny it, but Cubsy's sneaking away. Waz thought he knew where he was, but he's not going to find Cubsy. Cubsy crosses map. Waz now in midfield. What's Cubsy going to do? He's going to start healing. Doesn't have time to drink. He doesn't want to fall behind. Smoke Bomb gets dropped. Cubsy Tranquility heals through Smoke Bomb. Good counter there on Cubsy's part. Swapsy being pressured. Waz being pressured. Both men doing everything that he can to generate some pressure. Infernals have landed. Chanimal is ready to go as he begins to ramp up for a Chaos Bolt show.
Yeah, this is the big scary time for Method Black. They need to be aggressive in stopping those drinks, but it's so hard during these Infernals. It can be so scary. One Chaos Bolt with Infernals can be 50% of your health instantly. They're shutting down Chanimals. Waz, excellent Kidney Shot coming in here. They need to get the interrupts. Cubsy moving away constantly from those Shamans, forcing them to cross the map, forcing them to tank damage from this Mage Lock Druid composition. He's going for a drink on the other side of the map right now. Waz pushes in, looks to deny, gets the distract. Good play. Distract does not remove stealth from the Druid, though. He's going for another drink right now in the corner. It doesn't look like they have a stop for it. Chanimals pushing in. He's dropping a little bit low. It's a dangerous game Cloud9 are playing, but they're playing it well.
I mean, it's one that they have to play if they want to take it here in Dampening. They need to get Cubsy mana as soon as possible, but Waz overextending to stop the drink costs some cooldowns. Now he's low on health. How is he going to stabilize? Chaz has a lot of work ahead of him. He might just drop a Spirit Link Totem. He repositions on top of the team, pops Ascendance, able to connect a big heal. Now pushing up with the team to stop Cubsy from drinking. There's the Earth Elemental. That will chase Cubsy and punch him, keeping him in combat. If they can chain both Earth Elementals on Cubsy in a row, I almost think it's certain that he will not be able to drink for the rest of the match. And if he can't, then it is going to be dangerous for Cloud9. Winning the blind pick is of the utmost importance, so you get the swing match advantage should this series go to a Game 5. So this match matters even more so than any other map in this best of 5 series. Cloud9, #1 North America. Method Black, #1 Europe, going head-to-head. Game 1 on the Grand Arena. We're getting closer and closer to this game being finalized. Cooldowns forced on both sides, and it's coming down to the wire here as healers are tapped on mana.
Yep, Cubsy completely out of mana. The win condition from Method Black is looming close here. Chanimals down to 20% health. Lack of cooldowns. Ironbark, the last line of defense. Chaz, meanwhile, still has the Spirit Link Totem. Oh, huge! Shot connects onto Chanimals. This guy, he's been a Live Lord this entire tournament, but with Maledicts, with Cubsy with 10% life, it's just a matter of time. The Shamans push in. Swapsy's tasting blood in the water here. The bash coming in from Cubsy. Fear, they're desperately trying to survive, but there's no way Cubsy can drink. He won't be able to heal Chanimal.
He's got nothing. Chanimal's holding out for a miracle. Wealthy Man is that miracle. Can Wealthy Man pull it off while his teammate is cornered against the wall? Cubsy has managed to recover. Waz is now low on health, 2 seconds away from Cloak of Shadows, 1 second away from Cloak of Shadows. Now available, likely having to be traded. Chaz doesn't have Spirit Link Totem. Chanimal has survived. I absolutely can't believe that Chanimal has survived. Cubsy is sitting down for a drink at 28% dampening. If he comes off the back of this with full mana, Method Black don't have anything.
North Americans in the chat, this is your team. The last bastion of hope for North America. Cloud9 have a full mana bar. Excellent play coming in from Chanimals. Cubsy, Wealthy Man with the slows. Now Waz is the person under pressure. This is the Infernal stun, Sid.
The Infernals have landed. Chanimal has done it. He's survived. Cubsy has mana, but still dampening in the game. Maybe not enough. It's looking good, Chaz. What are you going to do? Suddenly you're having nothing. Waz is at 10%. There's the counterspell. Wealthy Man's the miracle. Waz holds on by Cubsy is killing him in cat form through the Cloak of Shadows. Waz barely survives that attack. Now Method Black, they're pinned, they're cornered, and they're cowering because their counter pick might not work.
Cloud9 will turn your world upside down from the absolute despair, defeat looming in their face, a black hole sucking them in. They somehow, some way, with Wealthy Man's slows and Cubsy's drink, have managed to survive it. Still, 35% healing reduction. A Rogue and an Elemental is a threat you must respect. Chanimals, whilst high on health right now, will be struggling. Cubsy, he knows he has to get the kill for his team. He needs to help out. Chaz so low on mana. Every point of damage at this stage in Dampening matters. Wealthy Man pushing in. Chaz trades out Astral Shift. Could be a kill target later in the game, but they need to tee off on wires. The smoke bomb comes in. Maldics connect. Chanimals caught up in the kidney shot. Cubsy comes in. Defense with the Iron Bark.
Ooh, Demonic Gateway on the Lightning Lasso. Chanimal escapes to safety. Good positioning. Solid avoidance. Absolutely unbelievable. But once again, it's Wealthy Man that needs to net the kill for his team. Chanimal is under too much pressure. Can Wealthy Man carry this through? Can he finish the game in time? Cloud9 versus Method Black. Round number 1. The Grand Arena. Blind pick. Everything on the line. Defensive blind onto Wealthy Man to stall the game. Waz trying to stall. Still trying to play for the mana advantage, but Chaz is totally tapped. How much longer can Chaz keep this going? Stun on Chanimal. Waz trying to lead forward with the charge. Swapsy Hex Wealthy. Cubsy dispels. Lightning Lasso denied. Now Cloud9 gets some room to breathe, and with that room to breathe, they need to make a push.
I mean, Cubsy had 100% mana. Now he's back down to 20. You can see how important that drink was. They barely survived with an 80% mana resource usage there. They're still looking tough for them. Somehow, Method Black are still high on health. The Cloak of Shadows for Waz is up in 10 seconds. Chaz knows that. He trades out the Spirit Link Totem. They're still looking to stop these drinks. Waz actually has his defensive arsenal almost back as utility. He needs to survive the stun. Full bash from Cubsy. Cloak of Shadows is available should Waz choose to use it. Now he needs to be the one getting offensive onto Chanimal.
Ursul's Vortex on his Shadow Step. Has to cloak the Chaos Bolt as a result. Beautiful. Chaz is polymorphed. Wealthy Man is carrying. They need one more Chaos Bolt or a Ferocious Bite. Cubsy jumps into the fight, and that's good night. Cloud9 take game 1, and what is the answer to their Mage, Warlock, Druid? Best Warlock Mage to find out. Is it the counter or isn't it? Here as the gates have opened in game number 2. Cloud9 lead North America's last hope.
You know, I bet if Method Black play 3 different comps here and end up going 0-3, they might lead the grand final should they get there with a Mage Lock mirror. So we'll have to see how this matchup plays out. Of course, the big thing that's going to be different about Cloud9 compared to any of the European Mage Locks is that Cloud9 are just so good seemingly at using their crowd control diminishing returns to shut down anything as well as dealing their damage and pressure. So it's going to be a big question of how well can Raikou land those mana rifts and Cubsy, because so far he's been struggling.
Wealthy Man pressured early on, but Cubsy shakes it off with an Iron Bark, starting to stabilize here. Curious to see if Cloud9 focus on this strategy in particular, where they crowd control Raikou, the Demon Hunter. So Raikou is currently sitting through a Fear and earlier a Polymorph, and that is to stall his mana rifts so he cannot get as many as possible on cooldown. This way Cubsy will retain mana later into Dampening, which is of absolute necessity. So far, so good with that strategy. If they can make it to that 40% Dampening mark, Swapsy then becomes a kill target. But I will say the pressure from Method Black is immense, as Wealthy Man has really been at about half health for most of the first minute of the game.
Yeah, I was just watching very carefully there to see if that mana rift would hit. Once again, Wealthy Man and Chanimals, they're both aiming as soon as Raikou connects to get the Fear or the Polymorph, and then the portal will come in. Chaz, though, taking a lot of damage. He's not triggering trees. Way too late. And Cloud9 instantaneously are 2-0 up in the series.
Instantaneously up 2-0. I think that last game just so fantastically well done by Cloud9 and may have just sent them off tilt onto a whole nother planet of existence that might be a 3-0.
Yeah, Hook Point was Method Black's best map, and they just threw it away. Without their best map, and now having to battle on Cloud9's both of their best maps, even if they manage to pull this off, this is going to be so difficult for Method Black. You are all smiles if you're Cloud9, but they've also been playing out of their minds. We do see Method Black mixing up, going after Cubsy early on, potentially trying to find an opening there and catch him off guard. Barkskin exchanged evenly for the Stormkeeper, but Vendetta still available, and Method Black, what are they going to do? Are they going to keep staying on Cubsy? Lightning Lasso mistimed on diminishing returns. Did Swapsy turn on his add-ons?
I mean, using the Lightning Lasso on DR is actually a pretty normal trick.
Is it?
When the lasso expires, unless the person is an Orc or Relentless, it will keep ticking even at 0 seconds until the end. So it's something the players will use quite consistently since there's no Relentlesses on the side of Cloud9. Reasonable play there from Swapsy, but I really like this composition. I'm happy they went back to it, because game 1, I really do feel like Method Black had a fantastic game the entire time, then they just made that one mistake of overcommitting to the kill on Chanimal, which obviously they didn't quite quite managed to get by a slither of margins. Now they're going for it again, and this is a very Swapsy comp. I remember back in, I believe, 2013 Cataclysm, Swapsy made it all the way to BlizzCon, playing the double Shaman Warlock, and he has these kind of win conditions. It's always been his style of comp, and Method Black, if they can execute once again, I feel like they should win this game.
Going after Cubsy is risky because you leave then both Chanimal and Wealthy Man open. The defensive blind tactic from Method Black, blinding Wealthy Man the Mage during Icy Veins. This is to bait an Ice Block maybe for a kill on him later on, or if they don't get an Ice Block, then they deny Icy Veins. So Method Black is very much so focused on denying damage from Cloud9, extending the game, and winning on mana, and they are committed to it when they use their blind, their most powerful crowd control, on a damage dealer member and not the healer. So let's see if Method Black can keep this war of attrition going long enough to find victory.
Yep, I mean, it's something that they're definitely going to be playing for at this stage. Chaz has got a much better mana pool than he did last time we saw in the Grand Arena as well, so they've really cleaned up the strategy. I mean, the double Shaman Rogue isn't something they thought they would have to play. In fact, Alec tweeted from ABC that the European counter to Magelock Druid was this Elemental Moonkin, and then on day one of the Spring Finals they went 0-5. Multiple teams trying it, every single team failing. Cloud9 is just another beast of Magelock Druid. They're absolutely impeccable at this composition. So Method Black, they've had to go back to the drawing board, and I think this is a good answer. We see the stun coming over onto Cubsy right now. Hex is coming out from both Shamans. Kidney shot onto Wealthy Man. They're actually changing up their kill target a little bit here, Sid.
Would like to see better elemental usage from both Chaz and Swapsy. Those Earth Elementals can be used as a drink denier on Cubsy, so I do really want to see the Shamans on Method Black use those so that they don't have to overextend themselves and be vulnerable to damage. That's the main advantage that they can bring in this specific matchup. Was using evasion there. I'm not entirely sure what he was trying to deny. I would imagine that he wants to stop a bash, but Cubsy was nowhere nearby, so evasion not really getting any value in that specific situation. Chaz is already establishing a mana lead, and they are doing a good job hunting down Cubsy and preventing him from drinking, but moving forward, Wealthy Man and Chanimal have been left open for some time, and I'm curious to see how much momentum they can develop while Method Black continue focusing on drink denial.
Yep, and this is the perfect map for that drink denial. Of course, Dalaran Sur is one of the small maps in the pool. I'd be curious to see how this matchup would play out on, let's say, Tolveron Arena, which Cloud9 would be able to pick should they lose this one. Chanimal in the kidney shot right now. Again, not too much doing, just shutting down damage on the side of Method Black, forcing Cubsy, to keep the hots up. Lightning Lasso actually to deny the Innovate. This is such a dampening Swapsy play here. Shutting down the Druid for just a few seconds so you can purge off that Innovate. Nice plays coming in from Method Black, really understanding how they want to play this game. They come together as a team always in these situations, but Infernals from Chanimal, you don't need a team when he's around.
Yeah, you do not need a team when Chanimal is in town, and I am so happy and ecstatic to see a team finally able to utilize him. He has had a hard time finding a roster where he can be the all-star that he is, and I'm almost wondering if we should commend him as the best player in the tournament, and he's only playing one class in an expansion where you expect that diversity is the best thing to have on your team, but Chanimal
is the best thing to have on your team.
He's the best thing to have on your team with this Destruction Warlock here. It's match point in the upper bracket. Cloud9, they're the last North American team. They're about to 3-0 the #1 seed from Europe. Maybe not. Wealthy Man being blasted. Method Black take game 3. But they got to take 2 more on Cloud9's map pick.
It's definitely going to be a long and difficult road back, but
it's a clear win condition that they might have.
And it's a potential win condition that can bring them all the way to Game 5 and give them that shot at making it to the Grand Final. If not, Cloud9 goes there right now and guarantees that Grand Final is North America versus EU.
Cloud9, North America's last hope. They're still in match point. They take this game, they take the series, they take a spot in the Grand Finals, and one more victory secures them a spot at the BlizzCon World Finals later this year, and $50,000. Can Method Black overcome the map disadvantage here on Tolveron Arena? We are about to find out. Cubsy will have a much easier time drinking on this map, and even if he doesn't, he can then expose the opposing team in midfield, overextend them, and burst them down. Wealthy Man is getting smashed by Swapsy, though, at the moment, and Swapsy, he always talks about dealing the most damage in the game, and you can really see it starting to shine here between these two teams.
Do damage, don't die. Those are the wise words that Swapsy said were essentially the motto he lives by when he plays World of Warcraft Arena these days. And doing damage he's fantastic at, not dying they're also pretty fantastic at. Cloud9 have an uphill battle even if they are to take this next game. It's 2 games, it's one thing. Getting that 3rd game, it's where Method Black do not back down. They make it so difficult for them. But let's take a second here. Waz with the swap over onto Cubsy. They're just trying to kind of like play around, I think, like experimenting a bit prior to Dampening. I think when Dampening comes in, and like Zika said in the pregame, they're playing the way that we would like to see them play, you know, a bit more conservatively on the bigger map. Maybe they recognize this game is going to be dragged out longer. Chaz's mana resource is the most valuable thing for them here.
A bit more conservative. They just tried to attack Cubsy. I don't know if that's necessarily
the
most
they're both sitting on pillars, you know.
Conservative play there. Lightning Lasso on Cubsy by Swapsy. Waz is trying to connect, but he is stuck in midfield. Wealthy Man and Chanimal are having their way with Waz right here, and you can see the map advantage because Waz is just stuck. Finally shadow stepping to a target, but only has one of those. If Chanimal can get to the Demonic Gateway and escape to safety, Waz will not reconnect. Oh, he's running the Demonic Circle on this map. Chanimal is focused on just pure avoidance, and now though, Waz switches targets. Swapsy bursts Wealthy Man, and I don't know.
I'm so scared for him.
Every time I see him below 50% health, I almost see the dead letters starting to spell on his frame. So at this point, you got to be careful. Otherwise, Method Black might just bring this to Game 5 and have an opportunity to advance themselves. Stuns onto 2 members of Cloud9, but Waz is still taking a ton of heat. Chaz has that Earthen Wall totem down, reducing damage on Waz and stabilizing him. Cubsy's trying to drink, but there's an Elemental chasing him around the pillar. Cubsy is trying to kite it. They frost Nova the Elemental to try and get Cubsy time to get into stealth, and although this doesn't seem that necessarily that interesting because it doesn't have anything to do with damage, Cubsy sneaking away and drinking as he is right now, rotating to the opposite side of the map, is actually the most important thing in this specific matchup. If Cubsy cannot have full mana moving into Dampening, then I will certainly think that their team will not find victory. He found a bit of mana, but honestly not as much as he needs.
Yeah, honestly, this game, I would say, is the best out of the 4 that we've seen for Method Black. They've had a really good one in terms of, you know, they've spread Cloud9 a little bit thin. They're all over the map. They're struggling to get pressure on Waz or Swapsy at this moment in time, and they're also actually up on mana, which we said that the Cloud9, the reason they chose this map, and I mean, it's true, they chose it so that Cubsy could kite away constantly, but now that Method Black are putting more damage onto Wealthy Man rather than Chanimals, Wealthy Man can't really heal through the damage as easily as the Warlock can, meaning that Cubsy's having to commit a little bit more to the actual healing side of playing Restoration Druid and less to the drinking, and that's just playing into Method Black's hand. Honestly, Wealthy Man, I tip my hat to this guy. Like, he is so brave. I would have blocked twice already in this game. Every time Swapsy gets you low, it's absolutely terrifying. We see another swap here over onto Cubsy. Not really too confident in these. I mean, I guess it makes sense because Waz is chasing him anyways. They're actually hitting Maledicts, forcing the safeguard. Double skin coming out, but this is the Infernals. They need to respect that.
All right, Infernals are down. Cubsy is in midfield, and that is not where you want to be if you are Method Black during these cooldowns, as they are so powerful. One Chaos Bolt flies in, that hits Swapsy, but he is dealing with it just fine. Cubsy's drinking during the Infernals. Swapsy knows that. He pushes forward, stops any significant amount of regeneration. It's still match point. You can't afford a mistake, and Waz is very low on health. How are they going to respond? Chaz is interrupted. He can't heal. Swapsy is polymorphed. He can't support. Waz is boldly holding on to Cloak of Shadows. Feint reduces the damage. He's trying to chase down the target. Stuns up Chanimal, but that Demonic Circle at the pillar is going to allow Chanimal to easily escape if he needs to. Demonic Circle back to the pillar. Waz tries to connect, but no, actually switching to Wealthy Man. Wealthy Man is now low, and every time he's below 50%, it seems like even one Earthshock could kill him, but manages to hold on to the blocks. Cubsy regenerates back to full mana just as we get closer to Dampening. This is looking good for Cloud9.
Yeah, that was a good drink from Cubsy there at the cost of a little bit of fear on the side of Wealthy Man. One of the good things is against this Earthshock trait from Swapsy, Wealthy Man can actually see a buff on him, which is stacking for that increased Earthshock. So you can actually really track that. I'm sure the team's calling it out and trying to, you know, say, hey, this is a 30% health where you might die, and hey, this is a 30% health where you're fine. So they just need to do a good job with that, make sure that nothing bad happens. Dampening, as you can see in the top middle of your screen, is starting to stack -3% healing reduction for all of the players on the map right now, Tolvaron Arena. Chaz has done a fantastic job with his mana this game. Nagrand, when they entered Dampening, he was about 30%. Now he's at 60, so definitely things still looking pretty good for Method Black here.
Demonic Circle, Chanimal escapes. Back around the corner. Can he stay alive? Chaos Bolt's flying in onto Waz, pinned in center field by the Ursul's Vortex, and Waz tries to set up a swap, but Is cheap shot long enough? Nope, not going to be. Cubsy escapes. Waz is now stuck again in midfield, trying to make it to a target. Gladiator's Maledict's attempt here by Cloud9 to pressure Waz, but it's totally shut down. All three Gladiator's Maledicts, not even a Cloak of Shadows or Earthen Wall Totem. Maybe not just yet, at least. He is now very low on health. Chanimal stunned. Weltyman's Wind Shear. Do they have enough damage to force anything? Doesn't look like it. Chaz gets bashed. Weltyman blinks in, tries to polymorph, gets grounding totemed by Swapsy and denied. Weltyman that uses the gateway to try and escape, but he's getting blasted, and you once again do not want to go down without using that ice block here. Cloud9 would like to just clean this up and advance to the grand finals and let the lower bracket do their bidding to potentially eliminate Method Black moving forward.
Let's just take a second to think about why this double Shaman is so good here. Like, you've got double Tremor for the Warlock, obviously double Wind Shear, but the double grounding is actually the perfect counter to these Maledicts. You can ground every single one of those Maledicts if you just save the groundings, in addition to, you know, the Cloak of Shadows, all the other immunities that Method Black have on their team. This is a very smartly drafted composition here from Chaz, Swapsy, and Waz. They know what they're doing. We see a full sheep snuck over onto Chaz. Good play from Wealthyman. Orb comes out, big damage over onto Waz. Does have that Cloak of Shadows. He's trying to exchange here. The Vendetta committed, but Cubsy not really having to do too much healing. We see Chanimal just kind of tanking. It's not high enough dampening for him to kill him. And that Dark Circle, the Demonic Circle rather from Chanimal's, the portal, enabling him to kite on these goes. I really like it when they put more of their damage onto Wealthyman early, and then as dampening starts to stack, I think more and more of it needs to go onto Chan.
Yeah, I definitely think that is going to be the case here. Cubsy still maintains his mana. Method Black continue mixing it up, trying to switch, but Cubsy actually saw it coming. He was in bear form, and that's going to allow him to easily survive the stuns. I say easily, but Swapsy is chasing him at the moment, and after that 76k, I'm not sure if you can ever say that someone is safe if they're below 50% health. Waz the target here, double Shadow Fury, beautifully timed with the Infernals of Chanimal. Let's see how many Chaos Bolts he can get. Waz is looking to stop them. He's stalled them now with a silence and a stun. How many more interrupts do they have? Maybe we see an aggressive unending resolve. Swapsy doesn't have much defense. Chanimal has that opening, but Swapsy's at the pillar line of sighting, so unlikely to see that. Chanimal instead deciding to kite and allow Cubsy to drink and regenerate mana. Cloud9 feel confident if they're able to regenerate mana deeper into dampening, but at deep dampening land, it's anyone's game. It's quite chaotic.
Yeah, and I mean, Chaz doesn't have a bad mana pool himself, so these drinks from Cloud9, yes, they're good, but no, they're not game-winning necessarily. It's going to take more than that to take down Method Black in this one. Still, any team's game at this point, it's going to start getting harder and harder. We see the Smoke Bomb committed by Waz here, trying to get damage onto Chanimal's. Huge hit once again coming in from Swapsy with that Earth Shock, but it's down now. The stacks will have expired. We see all the Maledicts committed here as well to Chanimal's. Honestly, not too much doing. Again, Method Black's offense is thwarted by the defense of the North American #1 squad. Ascendance from Chaz, big cooldowns being traded out here by Method Black for that as well, but they're trying to burn down the mana bar. Like Zico said in the pregame, it's all about the dampening. Once dampening's at 24%, the Druid does struggle to just heal with efficient heals. He has to start spamming Nourish, Regrowth, and burning through that mana pool very quickly.
Yeah, he will. Cubsy's trying to drink. He's very far away, and Chanimal's low on health, but he got full mana. If Chanimal doesn't die, that's a good trade for Cloud9. They're still on match point. The last North American team in the tournament. If they can manage to pull this off, they go to the grand finals, and they're looking good to take the entire thing. They haven't even had to use Snuts. Snuts is on their team. They haven't even had to use him, so moving forward, they're looking solid. Although, right now, Method Black are developing momentum. Chanimal at half, dampening at 28%, so this is going to become difficult to heal through. Cubsy still managing to pull through, stabilizing Chanimal. Waz is now low, and Cloud9 begin an assault. What's Waz going to do? Is he going to run away? Is he going to stay on target? Swapsy boldly in center field. That is a brave place to be, but I guess he needs to be to stop drinks, but exposed to a stun. Chanimal now stunned up as well. Wind Shear on Cubsy. Chanimal low on health. Frost Nova holding Waz in place. Demonic Circle, but Cubsy's across the map. Can Cubsy get back over to Chanimal's side in time? Now blinded. Trinkets. No punish. Chanimal still at half. Dampening once again. It's chaotic. It could go either way.
This was actually a really big play from Method Black. They got the trinket from Chanimal before the Infernals, meaning they'll be able to safely shut him down on that cooldown, which you can see is coming up in about 10 seconds. See big damage on both sides now, 32% dampening. Both these teams starting to feel the heat as we do get further and further into this one. Swapsy low, Chanimal's his health going up and down like a yo-yo, honestly, but Swapsy's definitely taking the worst end of this exchange. Spirit Link actually forced out here by Wealthyman, almost solo as Chanimal was out of line of sight. Good job by him. Wealthyman has been kind of the unsung hero so far in the series for Cloud9.
There's the Earth Elemental tossed at Cubsy, but it's not. Why is it Why is it changing targets? You don't want the Earth Elemental Heat Chanimal. Cubsy now could sneak away and drink if he needs to. Although Chanimal has taken some heat, he's going to use the Demonic Gateway. Shadow Step, where's the circle? I think it's on the other pillar. Chanimal is too far away from his Demonic Circle. Does he relay it and try and kite using this pillar? Or does he start walking back towards it? Looks like he's rather choosing to walk back towards his original positioning. Shadow Fury interrupted. Windshear out of the way. Potential Chaos Bolts. Chanimal is still out of range of the Demonic Circle. This could be an error that costs them game number 4 here against Method Black. Chanimal gets thunderstormed even further away from his Demonic Circle, looking for a triple Shadow Fury, gets interrupted. Now, having soaked all those interrupts, could be an opening for a Chaos Bolt. Weldeman still teeing off with Frost Bolts. Would like to see Chanimal reposition back towards his Demonic Circle. He's making his way downtown. 40% dampening. Cubsy's trying to drink. If he can regenerate full mana, I'm thinking Cloud9 take it.
Yeah, this is the important moment in the game here, folks. If Cubsy can get the drink, it could well be detrimental to Method Black. He gets a tick. He's about to 30% mana right now. That was where in the previous game he got to 100%, 40% dampening for both of these teams. Swapsy taking a fair bit of damage. This is what Cloud9 want to do. They want to constantly force Method Black to cross the map, chase Cubsy around, and then Wealthy Man can tee off. He can slow Swapsy. He can get those Frost Bolts, do damage as much as he can. And we see the Polymorphs coming out now. The Frozen Orb, big damage onto all 3 members of Method Black. Cubsy once again positioning 100 yards away, doing as much as he can from as far away as he can. Chaz down to about 10% mana. The win conditions for both these teams are looming. This game could go either way still, but it's going to end soon.
It is most certainly going to end soon. You don't want to go anywhere. Cloud9 are the last North American team in the tournament. They're bursting down Waz. He's in center field. Where can he go? Well, there's a Chaos Bolt. He's going nowhere but the lower bracket.
Cloud9, just like that, going to represent the entire region of North America.